Jake, do you remember that?
I'll do some research.
I can't say I've had any personal experiences with that issue.
I don't want to think of you watching porn. That like bums me out. No offense to you,
Fine.
but it does. Like you're not. You're our darling Jake. You don't do that stuff.
Yeah.
You don't touch yourself. All right. On today's part of my take, Derek Jeter. Derek Jeter. Yep. We got the captain on the show. Hank is still so mad about it. He was like, we went into the interview and Hank was like, he's going to suck. And then he was very good.
I did not say that.
Yeah,
That's
he did.
a lie.
He's like, he's going to suck. But he was very good. Great interview with Derek Jeter. We're going to do Monday Night Football recap, Hot Seat, Cool Throne, Guys on Chicks, a packed show for you. And it's brought to you by our friends at Game Time. Created by fans for fans, Game Time is a new ticketing app that makes it easier than ever to score last-minute deals on tickets to sports, concerts, and shows, and they guarantee the lowest price. If you haven't given Game Time a shot yet, don't know what you're waiting for, you guys are going to love this app. We've had tons of Barstool fans using it, hitting us up on social about the great deals they are getting. I've been using Game Time all year, and I went to some concerts over the summer. Probably going to go to some football games this year. I actually saw PFT that our Jaguars, I'm going to say our Jaguars now.
We're jagging off, baby.
Yeah, they're playing in New York in December, December 22nd. So we'll probably go. They probably will have one seed wrapped up by then. So
I think Chaps is coming up for that one too.
Yeah.
And he'll get double creamed if they lose.
Yes. So it's easy to use, amazing deals. It's the fastest growing ticketing app in the U.S. You're going to love it. Download the Game Time app. Go to the account tab to create a login and redeem code PMT for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Download Game Time. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Okay, let's go. Welcome to Part of My Take, presented by Game Time, the exclusive ticketing app for Barstool Sports. Today is Wednesday, September 28th, and Danny Dimes has done it again. 0-9 in primetime games. The Cowboys beat the Giants. I was actually thinking about it. It's unfortunate for Danny Dimes that he is playing for the Giants because he does have to play so many primetime games. And it wasn't even his fault on Monday night, but that game, watching that game, it reminded me, because like being able to actually focus on one game, it reminded me that Daniel Dimes has the worst internal clock of any quarterback I've ever seen in my life.
All right, so it's funny that you said that because literally the only note I made from last night's game was Danny Dimes. He stands in the pocket for about 1 second, and then he takes off.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's necessarily that he's got a bad internal clock most of the time in terms of getting sacked, but he doesn't let the clock play out long enough sometimes, and then when he should be having the alarm go off, he doesn't.
Right.
So he's like opposite. It's like the broken clock is right twice a day. Somehow, Daniel Jones is a correct clock that's wrong at all hours of the day. He's like just like 10 minutes either ahead or 10 minutes behind, but he's never on schedule. So at the end of the game, he rolled out of the pocket, and he had a linebacker coming at him from about 15, 16 yards away. And he just kind of stood there like a video game.
He's like, he'll never get here.
With the controller unplugged and was just like bouncing and pulsing.
Yeah.
And then just gets fucking rocked and throws the ball sideways out of bounds. Then all the other times in the game, he'll drop back in the pocket. He'll look over to his right. That dude's not open. Fuck it, I'm going to take it and run.
And he can run.
In a perfect pocket. And so, yeah, he can run. He
also had the special of he would roll right, and it was usually Lawrence or Micah Parsons or someone. The Cowboys defense was great. They pressured him all night long. Would just be running after him, and it was like watching like the movie Scream, where you're like, don't open that door. And Daniel Dimes like, dude, what's going on? Like, if you're a Giants fan, you're spending the entire time yelling at the TV, watch out.
I like the Daniel Dimes, because I think we've only heard like
it's
Daniel
like saying
Jones.
Shaq O'Neal.
Yeah, Daniel Jones or Danny Dimes. Daniel
Dimes.
Damn, Daniel Dimes was back at it again.
With the bad internal clock. And it wasn't, I actually don't think that was all on him that game, because the Giants have no receivers.
Yeah.
They don't really block well. Saquon looked awesome. And the Cowboys defense, like, Dan Quinn is a really fucking good defensive coach.
He's going to be a head coach. I'm just going to
maybe.
I'm going to call it right now. Dan Quinn will be a head coach again. and he's going to go like 8-8. Then he's going to go 5-11. Then he's going to go 5-11 again. Get fired. Then he's going to go somewhere.
Went to a Super Bowl
and
though.
be the best coordinator in the league again. Like some people are meant to be coordinators, and that's okay. I don't know what it is about our society these days that says that the pinnacle of everything is to be, if you're in the coaching sphere, is to be a head coach. Like sometimes you can just be really happy being really fucking good and the best defensive coordinator in the league, and then everybody always wants you to get a head coaching job, and then you just take the interviews for the head coaching job, come back and get a raise.
Look who's living proof of you should just do that is Brent Venables. He just lost to Kansas State at home. He should have just stayed at Clemson forever, getting like $1.5 million a year, and every time Clemson lost, Dabo gets clowned, not him.
Yeah, that's perfect. Also, is there any chance that, let's say hypothetically, Urban Meyer goes to Nebraska, and then Taylor Martinez is like, I'd like to transfer
one more year
before this year's over, and he goes back to Nebraska.
He probably has another. I think they would grant him another year just to go back to Nebraska. But we should also mention Cooper Rush, 3-0 as a starter. Looked like Cooper Rush has now made himself a lot of money because he doesn't look incredible, but he looks more than competent as a backup.
I'm telling you, Big Cat, the ball kind of jumps off his hands sometimes. And it's not like he's got a cannon for an arm, I don't think. He's got like a really compact windup, and the ball goes further than you think it would based on how he throws it.
Yeah.
So he's made himself a lot of money as a backup. And Jerry Jones even, I think today he said something along the lines of it'll be interesting to see what happens when Dak comes back.
Yeah.
Because like he's put pressure, and Jerry fucking loves a quarterback controversy.
Oh, he loves
That's
it.
what he gets out of whatever hyperbaric chamber he sleeps in to extend his life. That's how he gets out of that area in the morning, and he's like, I can't wait to stir up some controversy with my team and talk about the quarterback.
And he also, like, he comes from the cradle of quarterbacks. I think it's the cradle of coaches, but I'm going to call the MAC the cradle of quarterbacks. Central Michigan. You got Ben Roethlisberger, Bruce Gradkowski,
Everyone.
Chaz Batch.
Jules,
good point. Jordan Lynch. A lot of great quarterbacks went on to be great pros out of the MAC. So, yeah, Cooper Rush. I mean, and again, the Cowboys defense is just fucking good. They are. I think it's they have a lot of good players, but it also just proves that like if you can get that one guy, which is obviously harder said than done, but that one guy who can just wreck every play in Micah Parsons, everyone else's job gets easier. Mm-hmm. That one time when he got double teamed and then like skirted the double team and then just blew up the guard and then got the quarterback, it's like this guy, he can't be blocked.
Yeah, 11 from heaven, as Skip Bayless says.
Yeah.
Skip recorded a nice video after the game was over last night of him just like his nut face into the camera.
Yep.
Everybody is sleeping on Cooper Rush. And I love it.
He was just like, oh, yeah.
This is awesome.
He loved, man. The world is a better place when Skip Bayless and Stephen A. Smith are jawing at each other from cross country into their phones without ever addressing the other person by name.
Yes.
Because when Stephen A. Smith puts on the cowboy hat and he goes on First Take in the morning, he's not doing that to get under Greeny's skin.
No.
He's not doing that to get under the fan skin. He's doing that knowing that Skip still watches film about him and thinks about him every day and sometimes accidentally calls Shannon by Stephen A. Smith's name when they're debating.
Correct.
And vice versa, when Skip Bayless talks about the Cowboys, he's not betting cases of Diet Mountain Dew with LaShannon Sharp. He's betting his own heart to Stephen A. Smith, who he knows is watching that tape later on that day.
Yes, absolutely. And the Cowboys, I'm starting to like fall for the Cowboys again. I need Batgirl, I need you to like just set me straight that we're supposed to hate the Cowboys. This is my problem with just being like, oh, I'm rooting for this team this year. I don't know all the the history, because like I watched that Cowboys defense. I was like, if Dak comes back and he's okay, like this Cowboys team, similar to last year, I'm like, oh. Then Michael Gallup comes back. Mm-hmm. CeeDee Lamb, shout out CeeDee Lamb for that horrendous drop in the first half, and then he did the my bad, which I love. Whenever it's like totally,
Was that really his fault?
Yeah, it was like a wide open in his hands. My bad, guys. Yep, thank you. That's leadership.
The craziest part about that drop that he had was I don't think he ever even extended his hands to catch the ball. The ball just landed in his hands where his hands were and just went right through. It was the perfect pass.
It was the perfect pass.
You could not have thrown a more perfect ball.
And I'm trying to get better at maybe not like just completely cell phoning myself. Which one did I say there, Hank?
cell phone.
I did say cell phone. I'm trying not to like have the total knee jerk reactions because in the first half I was like, "Are we sure CeeDee Lamb is good?" That's what I was thinking, and then he went on to make like incredible plays.
Yeah, no, he's nasty.
And win the game. Yeah, he's an incredible wide receiver. But yeah, the Cowboys.
I also
Fuck.
did you see Jerry Jones' celebration after the game?
No.
It was awesome up in the box.
Oh yeah.
Jerry Jones in the box when he's happy is so perfect because I think he had an opportunity to execute upwards of 10 or 11 various handshakes and fist bumps, and he missed all of them.
Yeah.
Every single one of them was a fist bump to another guy's handshake or a handshake to another guy's fist bump.
And then he was just
the rich people are fucking amazing at missing handshakes.
And then he was just rich people and golfers.
Yeah,
which I
golfers.
guess is a good Venn diagram.
Yes, it is.
But he was just staring at his team after like picking his fingernail, and I just assumed that he was like being like, "Yes, my pretties, like they finally won a game, like this is great." But yeah, the Cowboys defense is real. The Giants, I think the Giants are exactly what we thought. Like they're a frisky team, but they're not a good team yet. I mean, we said it before. Like, could you imagine the Giants being 3-0? I could not. So that's why I took the Cowboys last night. And like, Giants versus Bears this week will be a battle of like whoever wins that game will be 3-1, and that's stupid.
Yeah,
that makes no sense.
I think the Giants are definitely. I put them in the punching above their weight class category.
Yeah, they're first year head coach. They're frisky. They're
so the
doing
Giants
things.
can beat a team that's better than them, and they can also lose to a team that's worse than them.
they can lose to the worst.
But usually they can beat a team that's better than them, but they can't compete with a team that's better than them that is playing at like their normal level.
Yeah, they have to have an off game.
They have to
against,
make you. You have to look at the Giants and be like, we're going to play down a little bit. Then the Giants will beat you 100% of those games.
Right. The Giants can beat the Bills if Josh Allen turns the ball over 6 times.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. And they could lose to the Seahawks just straight up.
Yeah. I wanted to point this out because somebody did point it out to me yesterday that the hat that I wore on Sunday Night Show went 6-0 against the spread and 6-0 money line. Now, what?
This
sounds like you're doubting.
No,
Was it Sunday or Thursday?
What do you mean?
The Bears didn't cover, but that's whatever.
Okay, so
Yeah,
so
it's 6-0 against money line.
Yes,
Yes,
money
yes,
line.
yes.
No, but they
pushed. Either you pushed or lost. It was
pushed.
3 or 3.5.
Okay, so the hat went undefeated money line,
yep.
including several underdogs.
Correct.
And
the Jaguars were on there,
and
right?
the Jaguars were on there. It actually was better than I thought it was because I looked at the hat last night, and there are 2 other teams. I forget what they are because I don't have the hat on me right now. But there are 2 other teams that are on that front panel that also won money line. One of them I think was an underdog as well. So it really went 8-0 money line.
That will never happen again.
So I think I'm going to take the bill of the hat this week. I'll bring it in.
Okay.
We'll talk about it Thursday, and we'll put together a bill parlay and see if
Okay.
the hat.
I like that.
It's just
Or wear it backwards, I was thinking.
yeah.
so I could wear it backwards. Colin Coward would fucking hate that. But on the back, it's got more teams, so it's more likely that it could lose.
Or bigger odds.
I don't know. We'll see if the hat can rise to the occasion.
I think you take the back of the hat not as a parlay, just all of them straight up.
Just straight up?
Yeah. Yeah.
front of the hat
Hope
back,
that-
and then what about the bill though?
The bill may be a save for when we need to like get out of jail free.
The bill
when
is
we need
for
a
a rainy
real
day.
monster
Oh
win.
yeah, for a rainy day. That's
Yeah,
perfect for the
yes.
brim of the hat.
Yes, exactly. Break in case of emergency.
Okay.
The bill of the hat. What were you gonna say, Billy?
Did you guys see who was wearing number 13 on the Giants last night?
Who?
David Sills, who played at West Virginia, but
Yes.
if you remember way back, that was the quarterback who was 13, who was offered by Lane Kiffin at USC, and now that's how the story panned out. He switched to wide receiver, and now he's playing the NFL.
at him.
Yeah, it could have been you, Billy.
Yeah. And
You
we
just
also had an almost
focused.
all-time Mike McCarthy move, which Jake Ferguson, Barry Alvarez's grandson, fun fact, went out of bounds at the end of the game. And that play was stupid to begin with. Like, they're like, hey, we just need to run the ball and we can get it to like 50 seconds. And they're like, no, let's pass it and have it run towards the sideline short of the sticks and hope it works. And it didn't. It didn't work. And Mike McCarthy, it was going to be an all-time Mike McCarthy bonehead, but we were robbed of that.
Am I the only one that has thought that Ezekiel Elliott isn't the best running back on the Cowboys for the last like 2.5 years?
Yeah, I mean, Tony Pollard gang has always been hyping him
I
up.
feel like a lot of
people.
for the last 3 years. It's been pretty obvious to me, at least.
Yeah.
That
Although
Pollard he just looks like a fresher guy. Like
Well-
Ezekiel, he's earned his contract, and by that I mean like he was good before he got paid, and so they kind of paid him money, which I think.
and Jerry loves him.
And Jerry loves him, but when you have like an older running back, and by older I mean really after their first big contract, it's tough to stay fresh for that long. Tony Pollard, he runs like he's still hungry.
So the only thing that I agree, he always looks like the fresher, faster running back. I always wonder though, like, is that because he doesn't get the first down carries when everyone knows you're going to run and like has to run between the tackles type of stuff?
Yeah, man,
like he gets the third down plays. He gets stuff that Ezekiel Elliott has to get like some of the hard yards, and then Tony Pollard can come in and be like a little thunder and lightning.
Yeah,
I love whenever a backfield claims they have thunder and lightning.
That definitely could be one. Remember Lindale White and Reggie Bush, the eat and run duo?
Yeah,
they were the best.
They were awesome. I was actually looking it up because Tony Pollard is a good lesson that like if you are going to raise your kids to play one sport, it should be, or two sports, it should be basketball or baseball, because Tony Pollard is a good NFL running back. He has made $3.5 million total in his career.
Yeah, see,
he was not drafted high. He was a 4th round pick, and he hasn't gotten his big contract yet, and that's got to suck.
Yeah, he needs to get paid. So what's going to happen definitely is he's going to get paid, and then he's going to turn into
someone's going to try to feature him.
He's going to look slow, and then the guy behind Tony Pollard, everybody be like, yo, does anybody think that this guy's better than Tony Pollard?
Right, exactly.
But
someone's going to, like, the Jets are going to give him like $40 million.
Yeah, it's just a bummer because he's been good for a while.
Yeah.
And he's looked better than Ezekiel, and Ezekiel's getting paid so much more money.
The only other thing I had was that halftime was so awkward where Joe Buck unfortunately had to interview Jimmy Kimmel. That sucked.
Yeah, I hated it because that's Boomer's time.
Yeah.
Chris Berman should have been on my television.
Well, and also Jimmy Kimmel, like, Jimmy Kimmel seems like a nice guy, but like the comedian that he has become, knowing the comedian he was, like, it just sucks to watch him.
Well,
because he's just become like this, like, super safe, like, haha, like, here's the joke. It's going to be the joke that I've said a million times. Like, dude, you used to do the Man Show. We used to watch, girls jump on trampolines.
You used to be the guy.
I know times have changed.
You used to be the guy that would make your dog wear a mask so that when it walked in the room while you were jacking off, it looked like a hot chick.
Right.
And now you're talking to Joe Buck and being like,
my workout routine is really tough. I'm religious about that.
I'm gonna go on Howard Stern tomorrow.
Yeah.
Is that crazy? Baba Booey.
Yeah. My family's watching the game here, and then my other family's betting on the game in Las Vegas. So I mean, gambling's legalized everywhere.
Yeah, I've got Guillermo. He loves the Cowboys.
Yeah. Joe Buck, you could tell he was like, dude, I just want to take a piss.
Yeah.
Let me take a piss. And the audio at the end, I don't know if you guys noticed, it was crazy. It was wild to watch. It was so out of sync. It was, I said it in the moment, I was like, it's like when you find a porn video that's out of sync and you're like, what's going on here? Like, they would snap the ball, and then you'd hear the snap, and then you'd hear the whistle, like, well after a flag was thrown.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what ESPN is doing, but clean that shit up.
I don't know what porn you're watching.
I mean, that's old school, like when you look it up and you're like, you've never watched a video where the audio is out of sync?
I honestly don't.
Back in the day?
I don't. I've watched scrambled porn.
No, when you like find a video, it's just like it's not lined up, and you're like, this is weird.
And sometimes that happens when you're like trying to fast forward through the video and you restart it halfway and you have bad internet way back in the day.
Yeah,
that might be it. Like when you try to start,
I think that still happens when the audio is just fucked up. Anyone want to back me up? No one's ever. All right. A lot of people were saying that they agreed. No? Okay. All right, I'm out on an island. I guess I'm the only one who's ever seen a video where the audio is fucked up on a porn.
I want to be in that boat with you, Big Cat.
Billy?
Jake and I grew up with like
high
internet,
speed,
streaming.
I'm not even. I don't think it's an age issue. I think
are
it's
you
just
talking
literally
about,
like there's some bad videos out there that like you try to watch it and it's just like, all right, well this audio is just fucked up.
Are you talking about online or like a DVD?
Online. No, DVD is clean.
I feel like what you're talking about is online when you try to fast forward, but way back in the day. And your internet was slow, so when it would recalibrate,
I'm gonna find one.
Sometimes,
for you guys. I'll find
please
one
do.
for you guys.
Please
yeah,
do.
I don't think it's a. I'm not even talking about an internet thing. It's just this happens.
We'll throw it on the YouTube.
People will back me up on this. This definitely happens where it's like, wait, these don't match up. It's like there's moaning and then they still have their clothes on or something. What's going on? Well, all right. That's fine. I'll just be stuck out here by myself.
On Horny
cool,
Island.
Guys. No, it's not even horny. Those videos suck, but they happen.
I've seen them before.
Thank you, Hank. Why were you holding back? Oh, now you're saying no?
No, he's just trying to make you
I mean, a
feel
lot
good.
of people were agreeing with me online, so
No,
I guess I'll just be on my own.
I remember that, Big Cat.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I don't need pity. You guys.
Jake, do you remember that?
I'll do some research.
I can't say I've had any personal experiences with that issue.
I don't want to think of you watching porn. That like bums me out. No offense to you,
Fine.
but it does. Like you're not. I just
Yeah.
You're our darling Jake. You don't do
Thank you.
that stuff.
Yeah.
You don't touch yourself. All right. Let's talk about some other things before we do that. Sirius XM, both the Pearl Jam and the Red Hot Chili Peppers concert at the Apollo are now live on the Sirius XM app. If you like good music, you can't miss these shows. The kicker, you can sign up to listen to the shows on the Sirius XM app and get your first 3 months free. Enjoy ad-free music channels for every genre and artist dedicated to channels. You will not be disappointed. They also have, if you're ever traveling on a college football Saturday, they have all the games on radio. It's a life saver. So the Sirius XM app or in your car, download the Sirius XM app and subscribe at SiriusXM.com/pardonmytake. Offer to get your first 3 months for free. Offer details apply. SiriusXM.com/pardon. First 3 months for free. Okay, so we taped a little out of order today, and we did Guys on Chicks already. But, Hank, you alluded to this, and I would like to hear what Jake and Billy say as Yankee fans. Are we concerned about Aaron Judge at this point? It feels like it's concerning time.
I kind of think he might be overswinging.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of pressure. I think he needs an Albert Pujols dick ball that's like juiced to the gills as well. He needs that.
He's going to do it on Friday night when I am there.
Oh,
Okay, there you go. Calling
so
your shot.
61 and 62?
He's going to hit one of them. He might hit one of them. He's going to hit, one of them.
How many games are left?
9.
Okay, if there was a way,
9 at the time of this recording.
if there was a way for Big Cat to
so
hit
much
his
time.
bet, and for everybody else out there that took Big Cat's bet to win their bet, and still have him fail at it, that's what I want to have happen.
That's
Because
impossible.
it-
Unfortunately, it's not possible.
it would be, I know, but I'm just saying, like, I can't root against it because Big Cat has money
It's the
involved
people
in
more
it,
than me.
and I won't do that.
I
But
gave it to the people.
it would
Yeah.
be,
People have the bet.
it would be it'd be very funny if he just got stuck on 60.
It is.
He's going to do it.
It is weird.
Yeah.
Um.
It'd be hilarious.
Yeah. No. I don't even care.
I'm rooting for the people as well, but
Yeah,
It doesn't. The
when he
bet.
strikes out,
It's one of
it
those
kind of
laugh.
hits. Yeah,
It's one of those bets that if I just personally took it and I hadn't put it on our sportsbook app and the people hadn't rode with me, I wouldn't care. Like if it was like you could lose money, but also this would be hilarious, I'd be all in. Like that would be very funny. But I do feel bad for the people because people rode the bet. And
Here's the thing. I
it'd
think
be a real
once-
shame.
I think
That's-
once
I know
he
you're
hits-
rooting against me. Hank.
No,
You
I'm
always
not.
root
I just
against
said
me.
I'm for the people.
Once he hits 61, I think
would
all the
be a
pressure's
shame.
off.
Yeah.
I think a
I
lot
do
of
too.
a lot of it goes away, and we could see 2 in a game.
I think he'll probably go. He's going to get it. He's going to get it. But it'd be very funny if he did.
The greatest, the stat I saw, because it is weird that the whole conversation is about, and Hank has alluded to this, like 62, when we're just erasing Barry Bonds from the history books. But
And Sammy and Mark.
and Sammy and Mark multiple times. And but I did see last night Aaron Judge took his 18th intentional walk this year.
Yeah, the guys
Last
are
night.
avoiding him too.
Right. Barry Bonds.
Also funny.
Barry Bonds had 120 intentional walks in 2004. How absurd is that?
That's crazy.
And I think,
120
It happened with the
times.
bases loaded, right?
yeah.
Yes.
I think he got walked twice in his career.
That's how fucking
with the bases
crazy he
loaded.
was.
Yeah. Also, one thing we talk about it
Intentionally.
with Jeter in a few minutes, but Jeter's last hit was a home game at night in September against the Orioles. This weekend, Friday night, home game September at night against the Orioles.
The signs.
That's not that wild.
the
That's
signs.
pretty wild.
No,
Hank.
you always
no,
finish.
no,
You
no,
always
no.
finish your season against a division.
No,
opponent.
Hank. How many? I mean,
I agree. I
listen.
agree with Hank on that. That's mild.
I can look at the Yankee
Yeah,
schedule last
yes.
time.
Mild.
Thank you.
So wild.
Late
That's
September
mild.
Mild.
And turn that W
at
upside
home
down.
against the Orioles. I'll look it up.
How many times did Aaron Judge walk this year? It is really crazy. Like that, every night should just be like, "Hey, remember Sammy Sosa? I mean, remember Barry Bonds and how fucking absurd he was."
Also,
That should happen. More
101
often.
walks.
101 walks this year. Barry Bonds had in his year that he hit 73 home runs, he had 177 walks.
Judge had 127 in 2017.
In 2004, the year that he was intentionally walked 120 times, he had 232 walks. That's fucking ridiculous.
That's absurd.
That's absurd.
Getting on base that much. So that's the year where if he had gone to bat without a bat every single time, he would have, I think, still led the league in on base percentage
It's stupid. It's stupid.
and
to
never
look at Barry
swung at a
Bonds
single
stats.
pitch.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, it's interesting because we talked about this record a little bit last week, and we said how it's basically it's a Yankee record, which
It's AL. Yeah, they're saying
but-
AL.
Yeah,
but it's
so
Yankee,
we said
yeah.
Yankee, and then I had several people reply to me being like, "Dude, it's the AL record that he's going." Nobody gives a shit about an AL record.
No.
Like that's not a thing that people care about.
No.
I get that the number 61 does have some meaning in American culture.
Yes,
when it comes
that-
to baseball,
that absolutely
I
does.
acknowledge that 100%. Yeah, it's not it's not really a record. It is the Yankee record, which sounds lame when you put it that way, but it does have a meaning because it was the number that everybody grew up with as being unattainable.
Right.
Like nobody. There was actually a discussion that we had back in the early to mid 90s before the steroid thing. Will anybody ever hit 60 home runs in a season again? And people were like, no, it's not going to be possible.
Yeah.
Pitching's too good.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's happening, it's kind of cool, but at the same time, it would be fucking hilarious if Aaron Judge just strikes out every at bat in the season. Now, I don't
would
want
be.
it to happen, but you have to admit it'd be funny.
It also, just because we're talking baseball records, it just reminds me that Joe DiMaggio's record is just the most 56 games in a row with getting a hit is just so
Crazy.
stupid. That is so stupid.
If we're doing a list
That will never be
of,
touched.
of the most unbreakable records, I would say the hitting streak and then Ricky Henderson's stolen base record.
and Cal Ripken probably.
Cal Ripken,
just
yeah.
because everyone takes breaks now.
yeah.
You know.
Did you guys
Everyone
see
takes
Tommy's
days off.
tweet about the records?
What?
It went viral. MLB posted top 5 most unbreakable MLB records, and number 5 was Cy Young throwing 749 complete games. That was
Oh.
number 5 on the list.
That's pretty crazy.
It was MLB on Fox who tweeted.
What else was on there?
Wainwright and Yachty, 325 starts as battery.
Yeah.
Number 3 was DiMaggio's hitting streak. Number 2 was Ohtani's 10-plus wins and 30-plus homers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
That's pretty crazy.
Shohei Ohtani should be the MVP.
Yeah, and number 1 was Barry Bonds' all-time home run record.
What about
I think the hitting streak record should be number 1.
I think Ted Williams had like 15 confirmed kills in World War II.
And then hit 404.
That'll probably never be done again.
That's true. That's a fact. All right, what else we got? What else we got before we do hot seat, cool throne? A little college football. Miami sucks.
Yep.
I don't
Miami
know
is
what
bad.
else. There was
Miami-
kind of there wasn't like there's no change at the top. Ohio State's really fucking good.
Tennessee rocks.
Yeah, Tennessee's back.
Hendon Hooker for Heisman.
When they play Alabama, that's going to be like it. That is one of those games that if Tennessee can lose by less than 10, then I'm like, ooh, they might actually be back. But it has the potential of a classic like Alabama. Just every time a team in the SEC hops up for a second, they're like, haha, no.
There's
We're
levels.
Alabama.
You're right. There's absolutely levels when it comes to SEC football, where you can be an average team, you can be a good team. Then there's the next level of a team that's so good that they can keep it within one score of Alabama.
Right.
Like a team
Or
that,
Georgia in
or
this case now, yeah.
makes Alabama nervous. And then there's the boss level that Georgia is the first team to ever really get up to that level since Nick Saban's been down there, where it's like they are kind of low-key favored against Alabama.
Right,
now.
they're going to go on. There's going to be multiple years now where it's like the spread is less than a touch because obviously LSU's championship season, but then it was disappeared.
Yeah.
Georgia's now sustaining. Hey, we're on this same level as you.
Yep.
Yeah.
I also saw earlier today one of the old BCS computers. You remember the old computer formulas that they had?
Yeah.
There's an old BCS computer that still does their BCS formula and publishes it every week. They had JMU ranked number 11 in the country.
Wow. That's
so it's
huge.
a pretty smart computer.
Kansas not being ranked is a travesty as well.
That is stupid.
It's just that's a total helmet ranking.
Yes.
If they were if Kansas were USC, same resume, they'd be like 3 in the country.
Yeah.
That's why preseason rankings and rankings in September are so stupid.
Yep.
Yeah.
Texas is back to being not back
Yep. Facts.
officially.
Facts. Yeah. Horns down everywhere.
Washington might be good.
Yeah. Dana Beers, our good friend, he got Texas Tech a $50,000 fine. Just him.
What do you do?
Well, no, it wasn't just him, but there was actually some Texas Tech fans pushing players,
Was
which
that
was
Dana?
fucked up. But Dana didn't push any players. But Dana went up to the mascot and did a horns down right in his face in
Yeah.
front of the cheerleaders.
That's unsportsmanlike conduct.
So the actual AP story saying Texas Tech has been fined for $50,000 for rushing the field has Dana as the picture.
Yeah.
So it looks like he's the one who did it.
Lifetime Texas Tech fan.
Yes.
Dana
yes.
Beers.
I mean, he has to choose Texas Tech.
No, I think it'd be even funnier if he got them a $50,000 fine, and then left.
Yeah, but he like that's an all-time being able to go see that game, and that
Yeah.
was, I think, the first time they beat a ranked opponent at home for forever since Crabtree.
You've watched more Big Ten than I have this year, Big Cat. Is it time that we start having the discussion about Penn State being ranked in the top 4?
Oh no, Penn State's good. Penn State is good, but Penn State has Sean Clifford, so he's kind of I don't want to say he's Kirk Cousins because that would probably be mean to Sean Clifford. He is.
Kirk Cousins won a few games in the Big Ten.
He did. Didn't win that Big Ten championship game against Wisconsin, even though it was a revenge game for Wisconsin. But Sean Clifford is the guy who Penn State will get to a point, and I think they are very good, but he will throw just a back-breaking interception, and every Penn State fan will be like, why did I believe in Sean Clifford?
Yeah.
That will happen. They know it's going to happen. Ride the wave until it happens, but holy shit, that's going to happen.
Drew Aller's going to come in at
The
some point.
backup, yeah. You had Will Levis.
I know.
And but was that a fair assessment? Because you are a Penn State fan, Max. Like that's a fair assessment.
Yeah, I have zero faith in
Oh no,
Clifford.
yeah,
But like he is gonna. Penn State's good enough, and Singleton is really, really fucking good, and it's gonna get to that point where Penn State's there, and then it'll be like, what the fuck? Why didn't we bring in Aller?
yeah. Why did Sean Clifford throw that ball? And so, and Ohio State looks like world beaters as usual.
Is Ohio State the most boring, awesome team of all time?
I mean,
In terms of a franchise.
That game was never even close.
If you look at their colors, their whole vibe, the aesthetic, the campus,
yeah,
I feel like Ohio State is a very boring machine of devastation.
I think it comes down to when they had Urban Meyer, there was still the allure of like Urban Meyer's a psycho, and they could still lose to like Purdue or Iowa randomly. And now it just feels like they are a true like corporate machine.
Well, it goes back to Jim Tressel when he used to wear the sweater vest and the tie to every game. Yeah. Every game was pretty much a board meeting.
Right.
They were going to come out on top because they had stacked the seats in the boards. They had all the votes. And then they would just kind of methodically move on and move forward.
Yeah.
Like run the ball, play solid defense. That's kind of what Ohio State did.
Yeah.
Now, even though they have incredible playmakers at quarterback and wide receiver for the last several seasons, they still have that like boring ass vibe to them.
Yeah.
I can't get amped up for Ohio State.
Yeah, I mean they do just run through the entire Big Ten, and we'll see if Michigan can duplicate it. Although I think Michigan State stinks. The game against Penn State, that's at Penn State, so that will be, can Penn State survive the Sean Clifford disaster? Tune in.
Everyone's waiting on bated breath.
Yeah. Spoiler alert. He will not survive the Sean Clifford disaster.
Well, I mean, they survived Christian Hackenberg.
Yeah, but this is Sean Clifford is a quarterback that is just built to get your hopes all the way up and then just demolish them.
I want to see one of those YouTube compilation videos of that people do for various colleges in like certain eras in time when they go back and do like a very heavy breathing voiceover and walk you through what happened. I want somebody to do that with Christian Hackenberg and explain to me how Christian Hackenberg played forever in college football and then he gets to the NFL and it's like, this guy can't throw a ball 7 yards.
He's actually
how is that possible?
He's a good lesson that like college football, if they had the one and done, it would be good for guys like Christian Hackenberg, because when he was there the first year, it was like, this guy is incredible and he should be the top pick. And then he just had to play too much college football where everyone was like, maybe not.
Yeah, but it would have been very funny if he got into the NFL.
It's the number one pick, yeah.
And then at the next level, we got to watch Christian Hackenberg evolve as he did in college, but against like players like Myles Garrett.
Yeah. Who
Yeah.
As a Bears fan, I hope he's okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. Like as a Steelers fan,
I retweeted that poor guy. He probably woke up and was like, "What the fuck just happened?" Because it was the actual news article being like, Myles Garrett suffered a severe crash. He flipped over a bunch of times.
Yeah.
His Porsche looked like completely mangled. And then there's one guy, the first response under it was, as a Steelers fan, like, I'm rooting for him to survive. It was Steelers fan here. I hope both of them are okay. Also, I hope he's on the field this Sunday or very soon. Appreciate that.
That's nice.
Fucking
That's
nice. As a fan of football, I'm happy that Myles Garrett didn't die in a car crash.
Yeah, so wait, this guy is a Steelers fan. and he said, "I hope he's on the field this week." Do you think he would have included that part at the end
Oh,
if the
no.
car crash had
Definitely
happened
not.
exactly 7 days ago?
Definitely not.
If it was last Tuesday, would that guy have been like,
No.
"I hope he's on the field in 2 days"?
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, it would have been like Steelers
so.
fan here, happy he's okay. Probably a sign that, life's bigger. Some things are bigger than sports.
Yeah.
Maybe he should retire.
Steelers fan here, just hoping that he takes all the time necessary to make a full and complete recovery.
Yes.
That's what he would say.
Yes, absolutely. All right, let's do Hot Seat Cool Throne. Hot Seat Cool Throne is brought to you by our friends at Coors Light. Our weeks are filled with deadlines, responsibilities, and just stress in general, but it's college football season, and when the weekend hits, you've got to protect your chill. So this season, make time to chill out and catch the game at your favorite bar, and while you're at it, order an ice-cold Coors Light, the beer that's made to chill. Protect your chill this season with Coors Light. Coors Light is the beer of college football. Whether your team is a powerhouse with a record to keep or an underdog with a point to prove, one thing's for sure, it's going to be a hell of a season. Stay refreshed through all the action with Coors Light. Protect your chill this season with Coors Light. Get Coors Light delivered straight to your door with Drizzly or Instacart by going to CoorsLight.com/take. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Hank.
My hot seat is anyone with the Spurs championship future.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Media day was yesterday. Bunch of stuff. I like how the NBA does it all in one day.
Yep.
Zion Williamson looks great. James Harden lost a bunch of weight.
Yeah, tweet that, he said.
And then Greg Popovich just outwardly said it. No one here should go to Vegas and bet on this team to win a championship.
Oof.
If you bet in the Barstool Sportsbook, $10, you'd win $100,000 if they do win the
Whoa.
championship. So
Is that it?
it's good value. I'm gonna sprinkle a little bit on that, but I don't know. I'll probably get in trouble for that. I don't think you can just say that, but I respect the honesty.
Yeah, he was nice, and that makes me. My brain, the gambling brain that I have, is like, he knows something. Definitely bet on them.
Yeah,
Like,
that's what I'm.
he's
I
totally-
agree with you.
Yeah, he's trying to get us off the scent.
Yeah.
Nice try, Greg.
Got to sprinkle.
Yeah.
And then my cool throne, I thought about putting them on my hot seat, but I don't want to sound like too much of a hater. But NASA's on the cool throne.
Yeah, that was mine.
They
Yeah.
they launched a spaceship into a comet.
Yeah.
Yeah, they launched a fullback.
I didn't like it.
You didn't like it?
They-
I mean, the
blow it
video
up.
also like wasn't. It was like clip art.
Yeah, it was choppy, like you're watching, old porn.
We should.
How is that possible?
I actually
Billions of
think-
dollars of billions and billions and billions of dollars go into these things, and they can't get like an HD camera that
Good point, Hank.
frames aren't jumping every 2 seconds.
My first reaction was similar
it
to
looked
that.
like claymation.
Yeah, my first reaction was like, this is stop action animation. We spent probably hundreds of $1 millions on this.
Billions.
However much it was. But then I thought to myself, just wait, because they'll have a second camera that was set up somewhere that has the HD footage, and then we'll get to watch that, and it's going to look awesome.
It was-
so I'm just waiting on that.
Special effects.
It was
probably.
my cool throne just because they totally did this as just like, hey, look, we can prove that we did this. It's not like an asteroid's going to come and blow us all up. Like,
Right.
haha, it was just fun. Like, we just wanted to prove to ourselves that we could do this. No one worry about a potential asteroid killing us all. Haha. That was my big takeaway. Like, you just spent all that money to see that you could attach to, like, throw what was it, a refrigerator basically at a rock 70 million space years away. I feel like we have a big asteroid coming soon.
We drop so many bombs on Earth every day. Why don't we just throw all those bombs and blow something up and develop a point system and compete? Make it like a Space Olympics.
Oh, it's so
You're
like
just saying the game Space Invaders.
you put a bounty.
Yeah.
It's like Big Buck Hunter, except for asteroids.
And we like compete with like other countries with space programs.
That's
We, like-
actually, Billy, you've said a lot of really good things on the show.
Yeah.
That's probably the smartest idea you've ever come up with.
and we just compete that way. So it's like
Yeah.
Putin, you want to blow shit up? Like whoever blows up that one first wins.
I like
Yeah.
it. And the winner gets, like, I don't know, mining rights to certain natural resources. So your country is incentivized to get better at the Space Defenders game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just an Olympics out in space and winner gets all the land.
Yeah.
That's
I
fucking
liked it.
awesome,
Yeah,
Billy.
That would be cool. I'm sure we
Billy
can get
for
everyone to
president.
agree on this.
Billy,
Yeah.
Billy for UN.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
Okay. Your hot seat cool throw in PFT.
My hot seat is society, American society to be specific. All of us, we participate in it because Dude Perfect is building a $100 million dude facility somewhere in Texas, undisclosed location, an amusement park for dudes who like being perfect. And I think we're going to look back on this in, the history books and 300, 400, 500 years, and whatever country takes over the United States where we're at right now, and study like signs of American decline. Why did this empire fall? Was it Trump? Was it Biden and inflation? Was it Putin launching a battlefield nuke in Ukraine? No, it was Kobe, Corey, Garrett, Purple Hoser, Beard Guy, and Beard Guy's dad building a giant monument to themselves in Central Texas to the tune of $150 million.
Yeah.
That is the tipping point of our society as a whole.
I want to hate it so bad, but at this point it's
Looks
just
sick.
jealousy. It looks sick. It's like these guys just basically have cracked the code of living a dream life. I do still think it would suck to have to like work there because you have to just be nice to everyone all the time. Like, think about that.
It's like if the Texas A&M Yell leaders had took their ayahuasca and imagined their perfect life. We're living inside of Old Rock's fever dream right now in College Station.
Yeah,
that's what Dude Perfect is.
What was the who's the rapper that we had on that has he's trying
Akon?
Akon, yeah. It's Akon's new future.
Yeah, it's Akon. It's
Yeah.
Akon for white guys.
Yes, exactly. I also like that they threw out like, hey, we're thinking about going somewhere else, which that's a great move of like who's going to give us the least amount of taxes.
So wait, the dudes are doing the NFL owner thing.
Yeah, they were like
Where they're like, we're gonna pack up and move the dudes out of town.
yeah, they were like, we would like it to be in Texas because we're from Texas, but Atlanta, possibly you. Like, L.A., possibly you. It's like who's gonna basically use all the city's money to build us this beautiful place?
It's like what Amazon did when they were looking for HQ2.
Yes.
And AOC like closed it down in New York.
yes. So they're just getting everyone's hopes up. But yeah, I'm sure it will be in San Antonio.
So yeah, the dudes.
Yeah, they did it again.
Dudes
did it again.
Dudes, I did it again.
Yeah.
And then my cool throne is the number 6. The number 6 is on the cool throne. Alex Caruso wears number 6.
Yes, he does.
And he is trying to change his jersey number out of respect for Bill Russell, because they're going to retire Bill Russell's jersey. They're letting everyone that currently wears number 6 continue to wear it. Alex Caruso, being the classy guy that he is, he decided he wanted to move on and show that respect to Bill Russell, and the NBA is not letting him do it. So they're forcing him to wear the number 6 throughout the entire season. I think it's because Alex Caruso sells so many jerseys.
He's top 75 jersey sales.
Yeah, he's a top 70. That's got to do some good stuff for his Top Shot that I have, right?
Yeah.
Like that shows that there's a market out there for Caruso collectors.
That also feels a lot like, and I'm a huge Caruso fan. That does feel like over 9 MLK memorabilia. Like he's probably 75th.
Yes. Did they say? Oh, they said top 75.
Top 75, yeah, top 75.
So they just took whatever number Alex
right,
Caruso was
right.
going to be.
He's top 82.
I
No, he
believe
might
it.
be 74.
I think I can name off the top of my head. I think I can name exactly 75 NBA players.
Alex Caruso's the man, so it makes sense.
He is the man. So he's going to be wearing number 6 this year. But just out of respect, just imagine that it's a different number than 6.
Yes. Okay, so I already did my cool throne with the totally like fake, like, oh, we're just gonna throw this at the asteroid and it's not because we're practicing for something. My hot seat is the Nets media day. The Nets, all of them getting together. Kevin Durant was basically like, he said there was a lot of uncertainty around our team last year. We came to a mutual agreement that we should keep moving forward. And I think Kyrie said something like, yeah, it's pretty awkward. This is not going to work. This is so awesome. They basically spent an entire summer saying the shittiest things about each other, being like, September will never come. Mm-hmm. We'll never have to be in the same room again together. And September's here, and it's just as awkward as you thought it would be.
Yep.
I love it. I love it so much.
I mean, the team is going to be about the same as it was last year.
Well,
terms
Ben
of
Simmons.
it's going to be even more hilarious than it was last year.
Yeah. Imagine if they're just good. I
can't wait, honestly, because you don't know what you're going to get from the Nets this year, but you do know that it's not going to be normal.
Yeah, I hope they're really, really good and then get swept in the first round.
That would never happen.
That would be very funny.
That would never. They're going to womp whoever they play in the first round.
Easy whomping. Billy.
My hot seat is the Buccaneers stadium staff. So we saw Aaron Rodgers said he saw something on the Jumbotron post-game against the Bucs. So did some internet sleuthing, and there's no footage of it, but the rumor that's going around from recent tweets from in the stadium at the time of the game before Rodgers said anything, as well as Reddit posts, apparently from the hearsay, on the Jumbotron was a shot over Tom Brady's shoulder of a huddle and seeing the flood right 2-point conversion play, which if you look at the defense the Packers played to defend that play, you see that there was 6 guys
All
in
over
the
there,
area of the flood. So that's a little overbalancing of a defensive coverage. Even though it was going right, but they think that Aaron Rodgers saw this on the Jumbotron on the surface pad that showed a flood right play, and that's how they knew what the 2-point conversion was.
I thought the Bucks stadium staff was going to be on the hot seat because a hurricane's about to wreck all their lives.
Yeah.
From the standpoint,
I actually
I had to say that.
yeah.
from the standpoint of water,
Yeah.
they're on the hot seat.
Maybe
Yes,
they'll
right.
wash away.
Like they have to worry about their families right now.
yeah.
Is it legal?
That was good sleuthing, Billy.
Is it legal to look at the scoreboard? Because I know that refs aren't supposed to look at the scoreboard at all, right?
Yeah, for
I don't-
replays and stuff.
Yeah,
But
it should be.
there was a tweet that was done before that post-game speech was even made, so that's why I'm cutting to the point and thinking that it was real.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tom or Hank, now's the time to be like somehow they're gonna blame Tom Brady for this and suspend him 4 games.
You said it, not me.
Well,
Legal
I'll
Spygate.
tell you exactly why. The league issued a memo saying that, hey, Tom Brady, you're not allowed to smash tablets anymore. And so Tom Brady would have smashed that tablet, and instead it caught him holding the tablet, which was then broadcast into the Jumbotron that gave the play to Aaron Rodgers.
Mm-hmm.
So if Brady if it was up to him, he would have smashed that tablet a long time ago. It sounds like the de-Bradification of the NFL yet once again.
Mm-hmm.
And my cool throne is Wake Forest head coach Dave Clawson. So during their the game against Clemson, so as some of you know, Dabo Swinney's sons are on the team, and
Yep.
they're in places where you can kind of hide them, like holder, fourth quarter wide receiver.
I'm gonna push back on that because I don't think you can hide at holder.
right, but
You're either good or you're not
like they
at
can,
holder.
yeah, it's a very simple job.
Okay.
Wow.
All right, hater.
I've been a holder.
Really?
Yeah, when I was like third string quarterback.
Okay.
It's an easy job. So so he
You're
was
gonna
on.
piss some people off with that one, Billy.
Okay. Never
Older
mind.
community's gonna be real mad.
If you're a decent, if you're like can catch, like they put like freshmen as holders.
Billy's about to be
it's-
canceled.
I know,
Billy,
I know.
it's-
I know the
it's-
holders are gonna get
It's
pissed.
high pressure, and if you're at Clemson, you screw up a hold. You got Potter kicking. Like there's a big magnifying glass on you down
And
there.
you got your dad as
Yeah.
your coach.
Well, I think that's why.
I think we need to do more respecting of the holder community, and especially of Swinney, whatever Will Swinney.
Drew
sure.
Swinney. I don't know. Well, Drew Swinney is the one I'm talking about, but Drew Swinney was on kick return, and several times throughout the game, the Wake Forest kicker kicked it directly at Swinney. So they were trying to expose him in their kick return, and they did. He caught it, returned it for 9 yards to the Clemson 19, the Clemson 15, the Clemson 11, and it got to the point where Dabo had to take his son out
Oh
and
man.
put a kid in. So I mean,
I like
that's
that.
that's just great.
Yeah,
That's
that is
good
great.
coaching on the part of
Like
Wake
just
Forest.
attack,
Yes.
and then when they put a new guy in, they did the same thing, and he took it like to the 30.
But I
Yeah.
mean, it's a genius move to be like, that's the coach's son. We know why he's
Yeah.
on the
Yeah.
field at this
Yes.
point.
I
Let's
like
just
it.
kick it to him.
I like
Yeah.
it. Jake, finish us off.
My hot seat is Smiling. There's this new movie coming out called Smile,
Oh yeah.
and they're planting people at sporting events with creepy smiles.
Yep.
It's going viral.
I saw that the other day. There was a West Coast game.
It was Sunday Night Football.
Yeah, and there was also a baseball game that they were
Yeah.
doing it at front row.
Kinda-
It's weird.
It's
So
weird.
if
It's
you're just
very weird.
smiling, you're going to get on camera?
No,
Oh,
it's a creepy smile.
Yeah, they plan. Remember when they did? I think didn't they do this for
Clown-
it?
for
Yeah, they had
clowns.
the clowns show up
IT.
places. Yeah, IT.
Yeah.
They actually never claimed that because it became such an issue.
Right.
And then there was copycats who were just causing chaos.
Yeah.
So they're like, we're going to release this movie 2 years later.
Yeah.
They're be on the lookout for anyone who's smiling. They're probably up to something.
Yeah.
Yeah. And my cool throne's actually the two of you guys.
Oh.
You are
that's
both in the final few groupings of the Barstool Mini Golf Invitational.
Oh.
Final
Wow.
round airs tomorrow night.
Wow.
The back nine. PFT at the moment, you're one back of Jeff D. Lowe. Big Cat, you're going to need a little bit of a miracle. You're 5 back with 9 to play.
I had a mental issue. I'm not the mental game.
But you
part
could
of my
always
golf
come back.
game is That's why I can shoot a 72 one day and a 132 the next.
Yeah, so you're both in the mix. Round 5 aired last night, Tuesday. It's on the Barstool Sports YouTube.
Okay.
And we will crown a champion Thursday night.
Great Cool Throne. Also Cool Throne Jake, because you should use promo code Jake on the Barstool Sports store. Billy, this is not your turn to talk, Billy.
I actually wanted to plug there. We have fake Spaces fake T-shirts. If you like that.
No.
Story.
Yeah, use promo code Jake.
Jake.
Use promo code Jake. 10% off. It ends on Wednesday at 1 o'clock.
If you're listening in the morning, you can
do it. Yeah, please help out. Use promo code Jake so that Suit Hank can't win this. And Billy, we don't want Billy's fake charity offer. We can't have that either.
That was a pathetic display of fake charity.
How is it fake charity?
You said if I win,
I'm keeping my money and then I'm giving the rest to charity.
I'm going to put all the money on a bet, and if I win the bet, I'll give the winnings to charity. So
if I was charity, I wouldn't take Billy's.
Well, I already chose my charity.
What is it?
SaveTheFrogs.org.
Okay,
have you chosen your bet?
It's going to be on the Thursday night game.
Well, that's more important because if you lose the bet, the frogs are going to die.
I think I'm going to go.
Is this a charity you started for yourself?
No,
Yeah,
it's
human
actually
funds.
it's
Like, I
an
feel like this
amphibian
is-
conservation organization to protect against chytrid fungus,
Save the
which
Frogs.
is invasive.
SaveTheFrogs.com. First order of business: arrest Billy Football so he can't fuck any frogs to death.
But shout out Jake. We all hope that Jake wins. Jake does a great job, as you've just heard, promoting other people all the time.
Correct.
This is a good way to get back and say thank you, Jake, for all that you do. Here's some money.
Hank, would you like to say promo code Jake?
Sure, promo code Jake, and go watch the mini golf.
Okay, nice.
Wow,
Beautiful.
that was nice,
Everyone
Hank.
use promo code Jake.
That's really nice.
Billy,
Hank,
don't.
Hank,
He
why?
wants to say it.
Hank, why did you say it that way? I'm just curious. Why are you so openly promoting Jake?
I feel like you just made a great point. He's always promoting everyone
Is that why?
else.
Is that why you're promoting him right now?
Good point, PFT.
Or is there another reason why?
I just want what's best for the company, and what's best for the company is merch orders.
I don't know if that's necessarily true. I think that there might be some shenanigans.
I don't know what
Is
you're
there?
talking about.
I actually
some
feel bad
shenanigans?
for Jake.
Why? What?
Shenanigans.
Oh, is there something going on?
There might have been some shenanigans. Are we keeping the shenanigans? I didn't know that it was a.
No, I mean this won't air
secret-
till later, so
a secret
say the
shenanigan.
shenanigans.
Use promo code Billy if you're
no,
anti-shenanigans.
tell me the shenanigans. I want to hear the shenanigans.
Hank put a full court press on Jake and Billy yesterday.
Not a full court press at all.
It was a full court press, and
What'd
said,
you do?
Hey,
I offered them a deal, and they took it. They could have not taken it.
Hank pretty much put a gun to their head and said, "I'm going to do a stream tonight, and on this stream,
Which I did.
for every order that I get, I'm going to stay on the stream as long as necessary."
Which I did.
And I plan on staying on the stream until 9 o'clock in the morning and not going to sleep at night. Now, unless you guys want to team up with me and second place, we can all split it together. When
So you
Jake
guys took the deal?
when
So
Jake was
we
beating
took the
Hank,
deal. So basically, the way Hank phrased it was, take the deal, or I'm going to ensure, or Hank's going to ensure he gets second place.
What about?
I said I'm
wait,
going to gun for second place as hard as I
no,
possibly
Hank's,
can.
Hank's,
What
Hank,
about-
take
Hank
the deal.
oversold this.
Hold on one second. I'm still in this competition.
Yes, you are.
I know.
So
I knew
should
this was
we-
going to happen.
should we-
I knew this was going to
Should we
happen.
maybe do a different deal with me?
I already have my deal. Handshake, all set.
I'll
If
make
you
a deal-
guys,
I'll make a
if you
deal
guys
with
want to
you.
make a deal with me, I'll go. I've done like 2 tweets.
I'll make a deal with you.
I could
make
go
a deal
full
with you.
court press
Wait,
on
wait.
everyone's ass.
If you go, wait, I'll make a deal with you
Okay.
I'll make a deal
I'm-
with you too.
because
Okay.
I'll match.
Hank can't over. Hank phrased it as though he was like about to overtake all of us because he's the only one who can see the numbers, but he couldn't last night.
That's not true. I can't see the numbers. I,
I
did
think
phrase
it's-
it in
so
a
what
way
deal
that
would you guys like to do with me?
you guys took the deal. I
If you,
didn't.
I'll
I
give you
didn't-
half the money if you promo me.
Billy,
Because
you already
my-
took
I'm in a
Hank's
long-
deal.
Don't
Yeah,
you-
but like I
You're
can
doing
make
the
another
Mac
deal.
from Always Sunny right
Yeah,
Now we've
no,
got
I
two
can
deals.
make 2
You are
deals.
doing the Mac from
I
Always
can
Sunny
make
right
2
now.
deals.
Honestly, I think that we should cut this part out because wait, because I shouldn't have said anything because Jake was worried that the AWOs will get mad at him for taking a deal. I didn't want to put you out there, Jake.
Jake kinda got
I
robbed.
apologize. I just want Hank
Max
was
was going to put it out anyway.
Hank-
Yeah, I was already putting out
Yeah.
this video.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
the video is already
What?
made.
So, but
Big Cat,
my
wait,
question is
my question for you, Big Cat,
Let
quickly,
me ask a question real quick. No, let me ask you a question.
No, be first.
Let me
I
ask
asked
you a
first. I was
question.
born second.
Okay.
Hank's basically robbing Jake.
Let me ask you a question.
I didn't do anything. You guys, I offered you a deal and you took it.
Okay, so that's your question. So now my question.
Is that wrong?
Yeah, you strong-armed him. You're their boss. I could
You guys are. Everyone's so
PFT.
soft.
I know.
We could just push mine, and we could just go like fucking crazy on my promo
wait,
code.
what about this?
And I could just give it all
To
maybe
Jake.
me, you, and Max will split it.
and memes
and memes.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm down
That would
for
be
that.
nice. Wouldn't that be nice?
How much money is it?
I think it's like 15, 25,000.
Hank, how much money is it?
First is 15, second and third splits. It's 8 for second, two for third.
Oh, so if I went
what if-
really hard,
What if we pushed yours and then we gave that money to Kate?
that also
So
would
Kate
work.
wins all of it.
Yeah.
Actually, no. I think we should give. I think we should
the
give
prob-
it to Jake
Well, the problem is
because
too,
all Jake did, he was trying to do the right thing, and Hank just came in like a fucking banshee and was like, "Hey, you need to do what I say, or else I'm gonna fuck up your world."
That's
Well,
pretty much what I felt.
yeah.
Like.
Yes.
It was Hank was going to make my next 48 hours miserable, or
Hell.
I take the deal.
Ab-
What are you
absolute hell.
talking about?
And
I said
meanwhile,
I'm
Hank
gonna go
is
as
the
hard
only
as I
one-
can to come in second place. If you
You
don't
said
take the
you were
deal.
going to do it out of spite.
Hank is
make
the
us
only one with the
not taking
insight
it.
into the
Yeah,
numbers
that's-
as
you
well.
guys should have come up
I
and
think
asked
I
me.
think I think the difference between Hank and I
This
is
is an
actually like
unbelievable,
several hundred.
unbelievable sob story of making your guys sound like the victim. I can't even believe what I'm hearing.
I mean,
No,
you did
took
your
the
How
deal.
old are you? Are you a child?
I
You were
took the
strong-armed.
deal.
You pushed him.
Yeah.
I took the deal.
Was there a lawyer
The
present?
worst part about this deal is that I benefit more than Hank does.
I don't want to get in the details of it.
And I was saying,
I'll
don't
decide
do it the
later.
Whole time.
Maybe I don't know. I just wanted to be, cause the problem I'm wrestling with is if I want to go crazy, I'm going to have to like work all night, and I don't want to do that. So
The good thing
maybe
is
I'll have memes just take over my account and just fucking just tweet nonstop.
the good thing is this entire thing is documented and will be on PMTV on
Love it.
Thursday,
That's
so
good. Love
you can
it.
watch it.
Love
The
it.
entire thing that happened there and make your own decision.
Was I strong arming Max?
I personally think that I still want to see Jake come in second.
Me
'Cause
too.
I don't think that Jake can surpass Kate right now because she's got a lead. I still want Jake to get the money. That's
Yes,
why
but
we started to
I
promote
did
Jake
do a
from the
handshake
beginning.
deal. Whether I regret it or not is a different story, but I did do that, and I will honor that
Okay.
if it ends.
I'm gonna
up
con-
I also
conclusion.
already told Jake I wasn't going to take the money from him. That's getting, not factored in.
Cut
but,
that part, Max.
I'm going to continue to.
But then Jake's like, "Oh, you made me do it."
I never said that.
I'm going to
Like
continue
Francesa.
to promote Jake, and Jake can do with his money whatever he wants to do once he gets it. If that's, give it to whoever out of the goodness of his heart. That's what Jake does.
Okay.
It's just more evidence that Jake is a team player, that he took this deal to begin with, which is further evidence of why we should use his promo code.
Yes. Okay. So tune
Yeah.
in. We'll let you know who wins on Wednesday at 1:00. Merchapalooza tears this company apart. You happy, Hank?
promo code Billy.
Promo code Jake. Promo code Jake.
Promo code Jake.
Promo code Jake.
Promo code Jake.
Well,
I just
splitting it evenly.
don't want Hank to beat me.
But you're splitting it evenly. You took the deal. Promo code Jake. Promo code Hank.
Yeah,
the only
which
thing that
it's
can
just
fuck
the-
you now is this guy.
I know. That's why. Do you
Yeah.
want to make
So
a deal?
I might. Newcomer might steal the show. All right. Let's get to Derek Jeter.
Derek Jeter is being brought to you by our good friends over at Helix Sleep. Helix Sleep is a premium mattress brand that provides tailored mattresses based on your unique sleep preferences. Everybody's unique, and everyone sleeps a little bit differently. That's why Helix has several different mattress models to choose from, each designed for specific sleep positions and feel preferences. They have models of memory foam layers to provide optimal pressure relief if you sleep on your side. They have models that have more responsive foam to cradle your body for essential support in your stomach and back sleeping positions. Plus, they have enhanced cooling features to keep you from overheating at night. And if your spine needs some extra TLC, they got you. Every Helix mattress has a hybrid design combining individually wrapped steel coils in the base with premium foam layers on top. It's the perfect combination of comfort and support. So how will you know which Helix mattress works best for you and your body? Take the Helix Sleep Quiz and find your perfect mattress in under 2 minutes. I took the Helix Sleep Quiz. It actually helped me out a whole lot. They introduced me to the concept of sleeping on a more firm mattress as opposed to just a soft one. They've saved my back. Thank you, Helix. Helix is offering up to $200 off all mattress orders and 2 free pillows for our listeners. Go to helixsleep.com/take. With Helix, better sleep starts now. And here he is, Derek Jeter.
Okay, we now welcome on a very, very, very special guest. It is Derek Jeter, the captain, Hall of Famer. He also has a new apparel brand called Greatness Wins, which I was looking at the site. Looks like great stuff. You're doing it with Wayne Gretzky. Is this your I can just name a company whatever I want because I'm Derek Jeter moment? Because Greatness Wins,
No.
you can, if I had an apparel company be like, mediocrity, like you probably will still look fat, but you have greatness wins.
You know what? I'll be honest with you. Look, I obviously throughout my career, I'm wearing athletic apparel, right, for everything that I do. And I think one thing you realize is when you're an athlete, I mean, you have certain tools that help you perform. And playing baseball, obviously it's a baseball and a bat; those aren't going to change. But athletic apparel, you start thinking about what would you do differently. I've been blessed. I've had great relationships with a couple athletic brands throughout my career, and wanted to just focus on performance first. That's what's most important, and quality, fit, consistency, sustainability. But I do encourage everyone. Thanks for going on our site. I encourage everyone to go take a look, order something. greatnesswins.com, and I'm very confident you're going to circle back and order some more. So it's something that I'm extremely proud of. I started having conversations with my partner probably about a year and a half ago, and a guy by the name of Chris Riccobono, who started Untuck It. And we had those conversations, and here we are. About a year and a half later, we launched our brand, and you talk about the name Greatness Wins. I think a lot of times people look at greatness and they think it's an ultimate goal. I look at it as a mindset, so I look at, having that mindset in anything that you want to achieve. So I appreciate you checking it out. You need to order some. I'll send some to you guys, and I expect to start seeing you wearing them.
Yeah, I will.
Absolutely.
Who would you say has more greatness, you or Wayne Gretzky?
Ooh.
Oh, well, Wayne's the great one. I mean, I'm not even
true.
going to go down that path. I mean, he's the one.
Yeah. I
that
think
is true.
that's probably fair. We're going to get into, I'm sure, a lot of your career and your playing days, but I'd like to start off, if it's okay with you, with a personal gripe that I have with you.
Sure. You only have one. That's a good thing.
Well, I've got several, and we can get to the rest, but the biggest one by far, and I think a lot of our fans want to hear this asked to you and really hold your feet to the fire. Why did you take down the Miami statue in the outfield of the Marlins that would go up in circles every time they'd hit a home run?
We didn't take it down. We moved it.
Okay, why did you remove it? It seems like, we can choose to tear down statues all we want, but history's still there. I really wanted that to be left up. That was my favorite part of that ballpark.
It's still up. You get down there in Miami much?
We went down for the All-Star game a
Yeah.
couple years ago. I just wish it was still in center field so I'd see that big giant fish go up in the air every time someone hit a home run.
So yeah, no, it's still outside of the park, so you can go see it. They actually moved it because we needed the space. I think you talk about sports nowadays. Fans don't want to sit in their seats and talk to the person on their left and their right. They want to move around, have more social spaces. So we moved that because we needed the space in center field. We didn't tear it down. We moved it.
Yeah, if we're going to do gripes, I might as well get to my gripe as well. Do you think things would have gone differently if you had maybe worked a little more with Marlins Man and done Marlins Man Mondays that he proposed to you? He's a friend of ours, and I don't know. From his perspective, he dominated the negotiation with you because I think he offered you a blank check, or maybe you offered him one. I can't remember how it went, but do you think it would have gone a little different if you had maybe, hired him as like president of the team or something?
Differently might be a good way to put it. I don't know how you define differently, but it probably would have gone a little bit differently. I'm pretty sure, but I am positive I didn't offer him a blank check.
Yeah.
Either. If he offered me a blank check, I might have done it.
Yeah.
His demands were reasonable. I think he wanted to bring the lineup card out at every home game.
Yeah.
I think he wanted
a day that
He
was
wanted a
literally
holiday.
for him every single week.
Yeah, it was. I thought he was being more than fair when he approached you, and I'm sure these are the most Marlins Man's questions that you've ever gotten in an interview. But when he came up to you at that first town hall and said, "Do you know who I am?" Did you know who he was?
I had heard. I had heard. You see him on TV every sporting event with that orange jersey, so it's hard to miss seeing him there. But I didn't know who he was. I knew his name, and they pointed him out to me before we got started.
Yeah, just to set the record straight, he's not trying to get on TV. He's just a big baseball fan that wears his Marlins jersey in all the other parks, and he just happens to get on TV. So he's not trying to do that.
Exactly.
Yeah,
humble guy.
Yeah, okay, all right. We're all on the same page. Yeah, this is good.
We're all Marlins Man's fans.
We're all. Yeah, this is a good common ground here. We all know and are close personal friends with Marlins Mans here.
I got it.
Yeah. All right. So, Your career is so incredible. I watched the whole documentary. I was kind of enthralled with it.
Thank you.
Hey, like, what do you think in terms of the reception from the documentary? Did you walk away being like, I feel like that was good, I got my full story out there? Or are you still like, people don't know the full Derek Jeter because you had such a private, separate life from the public persona?
You know what? I'll be honest with you. When we first started going down this path, I wanted to film the potential Hall of Fame call that I was going to get, right? You know, everyone said you should film it so you have the footage. And I wanted to film it so I could share it with my girls. I had 2 girls at the time. They were both very young. They didn't know what was going on. So I wanted to film that. And then if I was to get inducted, I wanted to film the induction ceremony just so I can have it. And then that turned into a larger discussion. And I was asked, you want to do a documentary covering your entire career? I said, absolutely not. I said, absolutely not. There's just no way I would do it. And I just started thinking about it more. And I said, okay, you know, if we're going to go down this path, I want to make sure, you know, whether there was times in my career where there was friction here or there, I wanted everyone else to be able to voice their opinions and give their side of the story as well. So it turned into 7 episodes, man. I mean, I sat down north of 30 something hours talking about, I know you guys talk quite a bit, but you ever talk about yourself for 30 something hours, you run out of quite a bit. You run out of things to say. So we interviewed north of, I think, 90 people. And I'm very, very happy with it. I didn't want to do a puff piece. Like I said, I wanted to make sure everyone else could chime in and give them a platform as well. But I'm happy I did it. And everything that I've heard has been pretty positive for the most part.
Yeah, I enjoyed it very much.
Yeah, it's very cool to be able to look back at your career and have so many people weigh in and kind of see what it meant to other people and see what it meant to yourself when you're looking back and like retroactively at it. But when you were a kid, when you were growing up, I have to imagine that, well, for a lot of people, their dream life would be what your life was, where, you know, you win World Series, you're the captain of the Yankees, everybody like has nothing but good things to say about you throughout your career, for the most part. And we'll get to maybe some of the detractors later. I've got some notes later we can get into. But as a kid, like, what was your dream? Did you like fall asleep at night thinking, I want to play shortstop for the New York Yankees, I want to win World Series? And how did your life actually end up comparing to everything that you wanted it to be when you were a kid?
Yeah, that's when I was a kid, you know, my dad played shortstop, so he was my first role model, and I wanted to be my dad. That's why I fell in love with the position. And you know, I was born in New Jersey. My grandmother has 14 kids. My mom has 13 brothers and sisters. We used to spend every summer in New Jersey at her house, and she was the big Yankee fan. So that's what made me fall in love with the Yankees. I grew up in Michigan, but I'd go back every summer. So I always wanted to be shortstop for the New York Yankees, and there was no other dream there. And look, I mean, I was blessed. I was fortunate. I was lucky. I don't know how you want to define it, but, you know, just being drafted by the Yankees, having a chance to spend my entire career with one organization, man, you don't dream of all that. You just dream of actually getting to the major leagues and playing for the Yankees. I think every kid dreams of playing in a World Series. You don't really know what it's going to feel like to win one. And then we had a lot of success, man. I was blessed. I had a lot of great teammates. We had a lot of success, especially early on in my career. My life that's been blessed, and it's to answer your question, it's much more than I could ever dream of.
Yeah, I mean, it is really your career is a storybook career. But the one thing I appreciated in your documentary, and it's something that only the true great ones kind of have, is it does feel like the losses hurt you so much more than the wins. And that 2001 series, when they go through everything and you're talking about it, is that something, how often still to this day, Derek Jeter, you know, family man, you're at home, you got other things going on, does it just pop in your head every now and then? You're like, fuck.
No question. Oh yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah. I got a couple friends that have won more championships, man. So don't think they don't constantly remind me of it. So you always think about, you know, the times you feel as though, like I said in the documentary, every loser says, "Oh, we should have won." Right? That's what you say. But you have those times where you get so close and you feel as though you had a team that was capable of winning. So You're right, man. It's. I guess I'm wired a little bit differently. I don't know if I'm necessarily proud of it, but for me, I think about those times that we could have won.
Yeah. I mean that was so close, and there's something about the guys who are wired that way, because I think you had such a crazy career that you could just be like, well, it was all. I mean, won 5 titles. Like, what are we talking about here? Like, one of the best of all time. But the guys who are wired different, it's like, no, we should have won.
You remember the
8.
losses?
Yeah,
more.
we should have won 9. We should have done this.
Yeah, and I just always had. I didn't appreciate my career as much as I probably should have when I was going through it. Because it's always, you heard me say in the documentary, it's always what's next, man. What's next? Like, you celebrate for a couple of weeks, and then we got to get on to the next one. So, like I said, I think that's just a character flaw of mine.
Yeah.
You played a pretty pivotal role in one of the most iconic baseball moments of the last, I'd say, 100 years, and that's George W. Bush's first pitch at Game 3. So legend has it you were talking to him and you were kind of giving him some tips before the game. What was it like when he was taking warm-ups? Did you see something in his motion and you're like, hey, let's tweak this, let's tweak that? Or what was your advice to him before he stepped out there on the mound?
Yeah, as much as I'd like to take credit for the perfect strike he threw, I can't. This was the old Yankee Stadium, and the batting cages were about, I would say, maybe 100 yards from the clubhouse. So I had a routine that I did every day. I used to go down to the cages right before the game and just get a few swings in to get loose. And, I'm walking down to the cage, and the whole tunnel's lined with Secret Service. So everyone's talking about how nervous they were post 9/11 with the President of the United States in Yankee Stadium. I felt that it was the safest place in the world to be because, there was nothing going to happen at Yankee Stadium that particular night. So I went down to the batting cage, and I saw the president, and he said he's throwing out the first pitch and he was getting loose, and I said, hey man, just make sure you're going to throw it from the mound, or you're going to throw it from in front of the mound. And he says, what do you think? I said, man, throw it from the mound. I said, yeah, I think you should do that. And then when I was leaving, I turned around and said, don't bounce it, because if you bounce it, they'll boo you. It's Yankee Stadium. And he threw a perfect strike. I don't know how he did it. Didn't realize he had a bulletproof vest on at the time. And, the funny thing is, I since I retired, I haven't swung a bat. I've only thrown a ball a couple times. It's when they retired my number in 2017. And just a few weeks ago, they had a Hall of Fame ceremony at Yankee Stadium. I threw out the first pitch, and both times I threw it out from in front of the mound. so they booed me. Actually, last time they started to boo when I was in front of the mound. So it's an intimidating experience to throw out the first pitch.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So, talking about other moments, our office is in New York. We have a lot of Mets and Yankees fans, a lot of Mets fans, a lot of Derek Jeter haters. So this is not a question from me; it's a question from the Derek Jeter haters.
Yeah.
Some of the Derek Jeter haters would say that you kind of hot dogged it when you jumped into the stands and got your face bloody. Some people are even saying, like Stone Cold Steve Austin, you had a razor blade underneath the seat and you cut yourself a little.
Yeah.
Do you think you probably could have just maybe caught it and not used all those extra steps to make the theatrical jump into the stands?
Actually, it was 2 steps. And if you went to the old Yankee Stadium, unfortunately, you can't go because it's not there. But there was not a lot of foul ground behind third base. So trust me, if I could have stopped, I would have stopped. But you're running full speed, and I've said it, the catch was not hard. It really wasn't hard. It was a foul ball. You're running full speed. But I had fallen into the photographer's pit a few years prior to in the postseason, and it's all cement. So I knew where I was going, and I just thought if I jumped over the photographer's pit, I'd just land in someone's lap. And unfortunately, it was the one seat that didn't have anyone sitting in it. But no, to answer the question, I absolutely could not stop.
So you got rid of old Yankee Stadium so no one could actually go back and recreate it.
Exactly. That's what I did. Just for the Met fans, I just had them tear down the old Yankee Stadium so they couldn't go out and recreate it.
How often would you have? I mean, Yankee, being in New York, like it is crazy how passionate the two fan bases are, how much they hate each other. Would you get people on the streets being like, "Fuck you, Derek," from Mets fans and stuff?
Mets fans, no, because Mets fans didn't have anything to say. Really, you know what I mean? They didn't win. We played them in the World Series in 2000, and I've said that was the one series that we absolutely could not lose. I would have. And I'm not joking when I say it, I would probably have moved out of the city. I lived in Manhattan my whole career. I would have moved if we would have lost to the Mets. But really, Met fans couldn't say anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good feeling.
And Red Sox fans couldn't for a while until 2004. I have to admit, I got caught up in kind of the Red Sox bandwagon 2004. I bought the shirt. It said like the entire lineup on the back. Posada sucks, Williams sucks, and at the end, and Jeter swallows. I thought that was a really good burn on you. I was actually at Game 7 in New York for that closeout game. I've wondered, like, you seem like a guy that probably still affects when you think about kind of like that 2001 World Series. As it was happening, when did you reach the moment where you're like, oh shit, we might actually lose this series?
Man, I don't think you ever, well, first of all, thanks for bringing up all of our losses. I appreciate you guys. I'm glad I came on the show, man. Thanks. But, people talk about us losing. We lost 4 games in a row to Boston, but we beat them 3 games in a row, right, to get a 3-0 lead. So it just goes to show you anything can happen in the playoffs. But even when we lost Game 6, I thought we were going to win Game 7, because if you think about it, at the time, Boston always found a way to screw it up. They just did, and we had all the confidence in the world, but they beat us pretty good there in Game 7. So I don't think you ever lose confidence, but they had a lot of confidence. I mean, down 3-0, it's tough. A lot of teams would have rolled over, but they had a really good team that year.
Mm-hmm. So I'll give you a good one because then you can talk about your wins. Let's rank your rings. Which ones are most meaningful?
Let's rank I'm sorry, say that again.
Let's rank your rings. Let's rank the 5 rings. Which one do you like, the most meaningful? Obviously, they're all special and everything, but I would imagine there's one that means a little something extra. Would it be the last one?
Oh, man. You have kids? You guys have kids?
Yeah.
How many?
2.
Yeah, it's like kind of like when someone says, who's your favorite kid? Even if you have one, you're not going to say it.
Yeah,
right?
My daughter. I like my daughter more than my son. So there we go. I answered that. So now you have to answer this.
No, you know what? I tell you what, man. Anytime you do something for the first time, it's new, and you're going through experiences. You're experiencing the parade for the first time. You're experiencing the attention. You're going down the streets. Everyone has Yankee shirts on, Yankee hats on. They're congratulating you on winning the World Series. So the first always stands out. Man, then you got the Mets. We're playing the Mets. And that, we had to win that World Series, like I said. And then, man, 2009, it had been 9 years since we had won the World Series. So it's tough. But I'd probably say maybe the first one, just because it's the first one.
It's okay to just say that the one against the Padres was the least meaningful because they just barely put up a fight. That's fine. That's totally fine.
The one against San Diego, we knew they had no chance. I mean, we were 125 wins that year. Hey, we were 125-50, so that's tough to do. We steamrolled most teams that year.
That's a crazy record. That really is.
It is, yeah. I mean, at any point over the course of that season, did you feel like you were on autopilot, where that your team is so good that there's absolutely nothing anybody can do to stop you?
Well, you know what? That's a good question because
thank you.
1998, towards the end of the year, we actually scuffled for a couple weeks. And going back to Yankee fans watching every game, I remember, we had won the division in April. I mean, we had already won. And I remember walking the streets in New York in September, and fans, yelling, "We better turn it around, and we better, playoffs are coming, and what's going on?" And they watch every single game. So we had a period where we scuffled a little bit, but I think every team's going to struggle at some point. I think that's when you find out how good you are. But for the most part, that year was, I'm a little biased, but I put that team up there against any team.
Yeah, I mean, it was an incredible team. And it is true. Baseball's so weird that, it's just so many games. So there's always going to be a stretch where, you lose a couple series in a row. In terms of leadership, were you weren't a rah-rah guy, but watching one of the cool parts of the documentary was you talking about the 90s, late 90s Yankees, and then the transition to those 2000 Yankees where you lose some veteran guys and you have to become the veteran guy. Do you think there was a moment where it clicked more for you for being like a leader and bringing all that team together versus when you were the young guy and you had all the veterans around you?
Yeah, I think there's – look, I've always heard people say, oh, well, you're quiet, you're not the rah-rah guy. I didn't do things for the camera. Every player knows, I don't care what sport you play, which camera's on you because you just look at the red light at the top. So, I think if you're waiting for the camera to be on for you to go and approach a teammate or for you to get in someone's face, you're doing it so everyone can see it. I was vocal, but I did it in my own way. I did it behind the scenes. I did it in private. There's a lot of times, guys you can yell and scream at gets the most out of them. Other guys, you got to give them a hug. And you got to take the time to get to know your teammates. So, I just always tried to do it ever since I was younger. I was blessed. I came up with a lot of veterans I learned from. And then, like you say, I was there for 20 years. So teammates change, new guys come in. We had a lot of leaders on our team, which I think is one of the reasons why we were able to have so much success. But, we went through a stretch where we didn't win championships, and it just goes to show you it's tough to do. Everyone says, one thing I hate is when players say, oh, I want to go somewhere where I can win. What do you mean you want to go? There's a lot of shit in life I want too. You don't say you just because you say you want it doesn't mean you get it. You got to be willing to work at it. So, winning's tough, man. It really is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who is that guy for you? The guy that would get in your face or give you a hug that kind of brought you along and took leadership role when you were coming up?
When I came up, man, I don't necessarily know if it was someone that was getting in my face because I was self-motivated, but Mr. Torrey, Joe Torrey, I mean he was pretty much. I played for Buck Showalter for just a few weeks in 1995, but Mr. T, I think he was probably as good as it gets. He's the best communicator I've ever known, ever been around, and he treated everyone fairly. He didn't treat everyone the same, but he treated everyone fairly. So I learned quite a bit from him.
So this might be the toughest question you ever get. It's something I'm very fascinated with. At what moment do you think you officially earned your pinstripes?
Man.
Yeah.
Playoffs. You got to do it in the playoffs, man. You got to do it in the playoffs. At least now you have to do it in the playoffs, right? Mm-hmm. Because, I think there's this level of expectations that come with playing for the Yankees. And it's the expectation level that we all set, because before we came up, I said a young group of us that came up, Yankees hadn't had a lot of success. They hadn't won a World Series since the 70s. And then we came up when we started having a lot of success. So now you hear a lot of times people say, oh, well, the expectation for the Yankees is World Series or bust. Well, they got a group of players that need to get to the World Series first. I said the season was a failure after we won my first year. After you win, there's nothing else you can do but to win again. So, the expectation level now is so high, and it's understandable because Yankee fans, they were spoiled, we were spoiled. But getting there and winning is tough.
So Aaron Judge, pinstripes, it seems like by that criteria, he's yet to earn them.
No, I mean, man, Aaron, but he's performed in the playoffs. He has performed in the playoffs. I think that, Yankee fans pay attention to what you do in the postseason. They can pretty much care. I remember when we had new players come to the organization, I'd say, hey, look, we have 30 games in spring training. We have 162 games in the regular season, and that's before it counts. So you're playing 190 games before anything counts. So, you talk about Aaron, he's performed in the playoffs. They're yet to win, World Series or get to a World Series, but he's performed.
Did you guys need to win in 2009 for him to earn his pinstripes?
Oh, man, I think from a perception standpoint, especially from a Yankee fan perception standpoint, I think, yeah, definitely. And I think you ask him, he'd probably tell you the same thing. I don't want to speak for him, but I'm sure he'd tell you the same.
I know A-Rod pretty well. Used to do a podcast with him. How's your relationship with him now?
It's good, man. It's good. We got together recently. One, I wanted him to be a part of the documentary. I told him, I say, hey, man, say whatever you want, give your opinion. And, we got together and I said, look, I'm just, when it comes to the documentary, I'm letting you know how I felt at the time. A lot of things happen in life, right? I have a family now, you lose close friends, you get older, you realize what's most important and things that you can just put in the past. So, I wanted him to make sure that he understood that any feelings I may have had or he may have had, once again, I don't want to speak for him, but any feelings I may have had is behind me, right? So we've moved on from that.
I did respect and I love your angle of like you have your circle of trust, you have your inner circle, and if you're out, you're out. Like if you do something, you're out. I think that's how a lot of athletes get a little bit burned nowadays, is that they might make their circle a little too big, or they're not as discerning when it comes to who they trust. You were able, like, is that something you just always have had? Were you able to be like, I know this guy's in this for me, not for himself type of situation?
Yeah, I mean, I've always had trust issues. I've mentioned that in the documentary, and it's not necessarily something that I say I'm proud of, right? But, I meet people a lot of times. I think I've softened a little bit as I've gotten older, but it always was, you meet someone, and the first thing that goes through your mind is what's the angle? What do
Yep.
they want? And I don't think, once again, it could be a character flaw, right? But I've had, pretty much for the same group of friends and people that I've trusted for years and years. My closest friends, I've known them for 20, 25 years plus. And, that's okay. But yeah, I've said it before. Maybe it is a character flaw, but I just have always had issues trusting people.
I think it's pretty realistic though, because I'd imagine that a lot of people that you do meet do have an angle. I don't think it's all in your head. I think in the position you're in, as at one point you were probably one of the top 3 or 4 most famous athletes in the United States. Somebody's going to have something that they want from you. It's very hard to find like a brand new genuine relationship with someone. So I don't necessarily think that's a character flaw. I want to play this game with you. We do this with every guest. It's called Questions from a Third Grader. So we reached out, and Miss Joyce's third grade class.
Your questions? These are your questions.
No.
No.
Grader.
I'm actually older.
You can trust us, dude.
I'm older than 8 years old.
Are real.
I might be small,
I don't know how far you went to school. Go ahead.
Okay, so no, it's from Mrs. Joyce's third grade class in Dripping Springs, Texas. The first one is from Johnny. Johnny wants to know, Derek, what's your favorite color?
My favorite color is blue.
Okay, cool. Timmy wants to know, Derek, what did you want to be when you grew up?
Shortstop of the Yankees.
Okay. And then Sarah wants to know, Derek, why didn't you switch to playing third base when your defense at shortstop had clearly started to suffer towards the end of your career?
It was never asked. I do what I'm told.
Oh.
Third grade, you do what you're told, right?
Uh-huh.
I was never asked.
That's a good answer.
So no one ever broached that subject with you. Again, Sarah wants to know.
Never brought up in my entire career. Never was I approached about switching positions.
All right, along those same lines, let's make a headline. Were you ever close to leaving as a free agent? Did you ever envision playing for any other team?
No.
And you could say literally any team, because then we can make a headline out of it. Be like,
Yeah.
Derek Jeter dreamed about playing for the Pirates, and we'll put it on a headline. Could you just say it?
Absolutely not, man. I said it in the documentary too, and this is God's honest truth. The only time I was a free agent, I walked in and told Hal Steinbrenner, I said, I'm not going anywhere. I said, I've told my agent, if anyone calls, not assuming anyone would call, but I said, if anyone calls, don't take it because I'm not going anywhere. I said, just treat me fairly. And that was it. So it never crossed my mind to leave, never wanted to leave. I know a lot of things became public during the negotiations, but never crossed my mind to leave the Yankees.
The other, dealing with the tabloids was probably very annoying during your career. I do have to say though, that headline when you looked a little fat and it said Derek Eater, like you got to admit that was funny.
Man, let me tell you something. You talk about trust, right? So after that came out, I was actually in Miami at a hotel. Afterwards, I went up to a couple friends. I'm like, man, why you guys didn't tell me? Like, did I gain weight or something? You know what I mean? But funny, we should have put it in the documentary, actually. I had met with a good friend of mine who's on one of the networks. The next day, I just ran into him at the airport, and he took a picture with me. And I actually, at the time, I had lost weight from when I played. So I don't want to get on any New York papers. I don't, because if you get on them, they will come after you. But that I did not gain weight. A lot of people thought it was funny. I didn't at the time. I was like, what's going on, man?
I just imagine them at the post just being like, Derek Eater, like we nailed it. Boom.
Yeah.
This is the greatest headline of all time. I laughed out loud when I saw it.
I think they were sitting on that one for years, hoping to get a bad angle of you, and they finally got that angle. And they're
They
like,
might have. And at the time,
We got 'em.
like I said, I was in Miami, and I was downstairs at the hotel restaurant. I had a huge breakfast, and somebody came over, and you know how you see someone, they're sort of looking at you, and they had a paper in their hand. They're looking at me and looking at my plate, and then I saw what was on the front page.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I just wanted my last question was going to be, we have a special guest in the studio right now. Well, he's on this podcast. His name's Jake, and he met you. Jake, how old were you when you met Derek Jeter?
I believe I was 3 or 4.
3 or 4 years old. Do you remember meeting a 3 or 4 year old named Jake?
Yeah. This was recently, right?
Yeah, there's the
There's a
picture.
picture.
So this is what you have to look like. It actually is a bigger question of like, do you ever have a moment and step back and you're like, there are millions of people who idolize me to such an insane level. So Jake told us a story when he was in like kindergarten or first grade. His parents went to the parent-teacher conference, and the teacher was like, he's great, everything's great, but he keeps signing his name Jake Jeter. Like, why is he doing that? And his AOL profile name was like, what was it?
It was Jake Jeter too.
Jake Jeter 2. Like, do you realize there are literally millions of people out there like Jake who they would die for you. You are everything to them.
You know what? Well, first of all, Jake, nice to meet you. See you again.
See you again. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though I can't see you. But I don't think you ever, at least me, I never sat down and say, "Oh, people idolize you." I just, that doesn't cross my mind. I look at it as, I grew up with Yankee fans, man, for 20 years. I mean, great thing about Yankee fans, they watch every single game. They live and die with what happens on the field. So they've seen me grow up, and I joked about it when they retired my number. I seen a lot of you guys grow up as well. So I don't think it's ever a situation where you say, "Oh, people idolize you." I just think it's, you grew up with them.
Yeah, no, he idolizes you
For sure.
Like, that's a very humble way, but like,
He would die for you. Honestly.
yeah, there's
You could be-
many people who would die. For
I dressed up as you for Halloween for like 10 straight years. I'll be honest.
That's pretty
It was
good.
just the pinstripes every year.
Just roll it back to play the classics, play the hits. All right, well, I have one last question as well. It's a rowback question. RHOBACK.com. Use promo code TAKE for 20% off your first purchase. You get the new joggers. Your retirement and the fact that you didn't get unanimous Hall of Fame, which I want to try to figure out who that person is. But did you, part of your retirement, I'm sure, was age, but was it also like, hey, they're starting to use exit velocity a lot on these stats, and like, I got to get the fuck out of here because all my hits are like 20 miles an hour. Did that play into anything with your retirement?
Yeah, well, first of all, I wouldn't say all of them are 20 miles an hour. I think you need to go take a look at some of them, because there are a few that are a little bit more than 20 miles an hour. But I tell you what, though, yeah, man, I mean, look, if you go back to the age of analytics began towards the end of my career, and man, you just go, you can go through the Hall of Fame and just think of how many players, because of launch angle and exit velocity, probably would have never had a long career. I mean, you could just, I'm just thinking out loud, Wade Boggs,
Tony Gwynn.
You know what I mean? But the job was to get a hit and get on base. And so the age of analytics probably played a part of me leaving. But I also said, when it starts to feel like a job, that I should go home. And I got hurt. I broke my ankle. I had a really good year in 2012, and then I broke my ankle in the playoffs, came back too soon, broke it again. And the rehab and to just get on the field, it just became so difficult. It really felt like I had a job, man. And anything that you do, if you're passionate about it and you love it, it doesn't feel like a job. You have fun doing it. And at that particular point, it was just too much for me. And look, I don't get it twisted. I know they probably wanted me to go home too, right? So they could move on and get someone else in there to play. But for me, I felt like it became more and more of a job.
Yeah. I mean, and you became Derek Jeter.
Exactly.
And in that moment when you were retiring and the camera cut to the crowd and we see your nephew tip the respect hat at you, that to me proves that clutch gene is hereditary, because you obviously were maybe the clutchest player in Major League Baseball history, and then your nephew, the camera happens to be on him and executes the most perfect, the cutest cap tip to you of all time.
And it's funny, he's 11 years old now, so that just goes to show you how time flies. But afterwards you hear people saying, "Oh, it was rehearsed." No, it wasn't rehearsed. Even my last game, I heard people say, there are some people that said, "Oh, David Robertson was supposed to come in and give up 2 home runs, and this is just how they planned it all." It's like, yeah, we all sat down and planned it out.
Yeah,
it was like Nathan For You episode.
It's a testament to your career that it's ended the way it did, and it was a storybook from start to finish. But we appreciate this so much. We'd love to have you on again whenever you're free. Want to talk baseball? Check out Greatness Wins. You can buy new athletic apparel there. You're going to send us a gift basket?
Yeah. So, yeah. I'm gonna send you some stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna send
Nice.
I get nervous with the gift basket comment. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, what do you mean?
Oh, what are you talking about?
No, nothing.
Not
We'll
familiar.
talk about it next time. Next time I come, we'll be in person.
Oh, great.
Yeah, all right.
Get
So
a chance to see Jake.
yeah, I was going to say, I want you to come in person because it'd be great to do like a long interview in person, but we'll also have to maybe have you come like in the middle of the night because some of the dudes in the office would like, you actually have people who want to fight you in this office and people who would be like, please marry me, Derek Jeter. So it would run the gamut.
Oh, that's pretty good. But we'll get it. I'll get you guys some product.
Awesome.
you. Appreciate
Thanks
it.
so much.
I appreciate it, guys. Take care now.
Derek Jeter is brought to you by our great friends over at Pardon My Cheesesteak. I had a Pardon My Cheesesteak on Sunday. It was delicious. I had the Chipotle cheesesteak. I had the fries with the cheese, with the steak. I had the brownie bites. It was a delicious meal. I loved every second of it. Pardon My Cheesesteak is a delivery and pickup-only restaurant brand that brings you craveable cheesesteaks and loaded fries. Pardon My Cheesesteak is now available in hundreds of select locations nationwide, with new locations being added every single week. Their menu features 6-inch and 12-inch classic cheesesteaks, Chipotle cheesesteaks, or buffalo chicken cheesesteaks, plus loaded fries and dessert brownie bites. Get lunch, dinner, or late-night delivery. And we're open 7 days a week. Go to pardonmycheesesteak.com to learn more and order now on DoorDash, Uber Eats, Postmates, or Grubhub. Now, here's one question with Gardner Minshew.
Okay, one question with a quarterback. We now welcome on our good friend, recurring guest, Gardner Minshew, who, when we came up with this idea, I actually called you. You went straight to voicemail, but you were on our list. So, one question with a quarterback. PFT, you want to start with your first question?
Sure, yeah. So, like, how good are the Eagles right now?
Dude, you're as good as what your record says you are. So we're pretty freaking good, man. It's been a lot of fun watching those guys get after it, and I think our best ball is ahead of us.
Okay. My one question was, Gardner, I know that you're a tough guy. We've had you on the show. You talked about having to break your own hand, which was a crazy story. If the doctors were to x-ray your heart, how many dogs do you think would be in there?
Man, that's a good question. But I don't know if it's about the number of the dogs, but the size of the heart in the dogs. And my dogs have big hearts, and so I'd say there's probably about 2 dogs with very big hearts.
Okay.
I like
That's
that.
what it feels like.
It's like the size of the dog in the fight.
Yeah.
You've got small dogs, but if you x-ray them, your dogs
Yeah,
have
you gotta
dogs
go
in them.
deeper.
Yeah.
It's like a Russian
Another
nesting
level
doll of dogs.
Yeah.
I like that.
You just keep going in, and it's just for infinity. They're
Dogs on dogs all the way down.
Do you have a question for us? Because that was our questions.
No, man, I'm really good. I was prepared to answer questions, not really ask. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, cool.
Perfect. Awesome.
Thank
Thank you,
you,
Gardner.
Gardner.
We
Isn't that the way
appreciate it.
interviews usually go. Like,
Yeah, but this is one question, so we don't really we get one question with you, and then I don't know. Sometimes the quarterback has a question for us.
Yeah.
Like you can ask us literally anything about anything.
man, shit, you're really putting me on the spot, dude. I don't even know what to say. Who would win in a fight between you two? Fight to the death.
That's a good question.
I do have the size.
I'm injured right now, but low man wins.
I think PFT probably would. I think if
It would honestly
probably
be
a better
the saddest
fighter,
fight.
but I think my size would probably win out because I could just tire him out. Like if I just lay on
Lean
him.
on him.
Yeah, you know when
Yep.
you watch like one of those like old school UFC mismatches where it's like,
Yeah.
oh, this little guy definitely could have beaten the big guy, but the big guy just laid on him long enough that he just tired him out. That would be my strategy.
You're like the mountain in Game of Thrones.
Kind
Yeah.
of.
Yeah.
My
Not
strategy-
really.
I
More
would-
like a trash
Pretty
heap.
much.
Yeah.
I would just try to run around the ring as much as possible, and I would probably never even throw a punch. I just hope that he got so tired that he'd pass out from just
Yeah.
walking around the ring.
Which is definitely a possibility.
You got strategy.
Yeah.
Both y'all have strategy.
Yeah.
But I think it comes down to dogs and heart, honestly, and the heart and the dogs.
That's
yeah,
true.
I don't know
That's
if my
true.
dogs have dogs inside of them yet. I just got an X-ray yesterday, and it was dogless, so
Yeah.
that's concerning to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so probably not.
Okay, well, Gardner, thank you for joining us. We might call on you
Yeah.
again later on this year, but you're the man. And that was one question with Gardner Minshew.
Right on, fellas. Good to see y'all.
All right, see you, man. One question with Gardner Minshew is brought to you by HelloFresh. You have a packed schedule this fall? Well, HelloFresh has meals covered with a weekly selection of 30-plus recipes and 70-plus convenience items, all delivered to your door. Now, more than ever, we're looking at ways to save some money. In fact, HelloFresh is 25% less expensive than takeout, and it's even cheaper than grocery shopping. You can enjoy the freshest fall flavors. Every HelloFresh recipe includes ripe, just-picked produce that travels from the farm to your door in less than a week. And there's always something new on the menu, from family-friendly to fit and wholesome, or even veggie recipes. There's something to please everyone. You can easily customize your meals with Hello Custom by swapping proteins or sides, upgrading to choice proteins, or even adding protein to a veggie meal. It's never been easier to eat your way. Go to HelloFresh.com/PMT65. Use the code PMT65 for 65% off, plus free shipping. That's 65% off. You go to HelloFresh.com/PMT65. Use the code PMT65. You get 65% off, plus free shipping. I love HelloFresh. They've got the best flavors. It's very, very fresh, convenient, healthy, nutritious, and delicious, and super easy to prepare. I love HelloFresh. When that box gets to my door, it's a great day at my household. HelloFresh.com/PMT65. Use code PMT65 for 65% off plus free shipping.
Okay, let's wrap up with some guys on chicks. Then we'll do the lottery ball machine, which Hank, you've never had, right?
Hank won.
That?
Hank
You've
won.
never won that, right?
Sup, Slim Thick Cat, Ghost of Manhattan, and Henry. My sister, 22, and her boyfriend recently flew out to visit my boyfriend and I for the first time. My boyfriend and I share a one-bedroom, one-bathroom apartment. They wrote that twice. I didn't read it twice. Where the bathroom.
You did read it twice, though.
That's true. Where the bathroom has two doors, one connected to the hallway and one connected to the bedroom. The first night I was in bed and heard both of them go into the bathroom. It sounded like my sister was brushing her teeth and her boyfriend began peeing loudly next to her for a good 30 seconds. I found it very weird since they've only been dating a couple months and made it so obvious. My boyfriend of 3 years has never peed in front of me. Is peeing in front of your girlfriend weird? And after how long of dating is that acceptable? P.S. You still got to do a gravity bong with Jilly.
Oh, that's true. I forgot about that.
Yes.
We make a lot of promises. No, you're weird. You're very weird. Like, peeing in front of a girl is maybe, I'd say, week 2.
Well, here's the problem. The only problem with peeing in front of it has nothing to do with like, ew, that's gross. It's just if you pee in front of a girl, you better have your aim right. Because if they see what, when you fuck up, they're like, wait, what? You guys miss? It's like, yeah, we miss a lot.
I think the bigger issue is
a lot.
If you pee in front of a girl, the real danger is that you might fart. And so that's one where you got to make sure that you've got a couple feet separation there.
Yeah, but that's totally normal. I don't see what the problem is. Again, the only problem in my eyes is aim is a question that comes up all the time where it's like, you ever have like one of those where you're like so hungover, like you just totally miss and like you're just peeing on the wall and shit. Like that will happen from time to time.
You pee on the wall?
Yeah, well, no, you'll just like you'll just be like you're
It's like LeBron seeing 3 rims.
Yeah, you're fucked up
seeing
or you're
3 toilets.
insanely hungover and you're just like, oh fuck, and like it's all over the place. There could be disasters.
Yeah, you just go hands free and it just.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you sometimes
me,
take a
myself,
little
and Irene.
risk.
I
yeah,
do.
where you're
Well,
like, I'm
that's
just
the
gonna
sex
chill
pee.
out.
The sex pee is a
But
little bit
sometimes
different.
that happens when you're hung. Sometimes
I do.
It's just like
I've never hit the wall hungover.
you're kind of half asleep.
It's
Yeah.
the sex pee is an issue. Sometimes also what
bonk.
you do.
Yeah, big time bonk.
Breaking news. I've had sex.
Well, we were talking
At
about
least-
hangovers. Yeah.
No, but that
I did
Hank,
bring
Hank
up the
brought
me,
up
myself,
the
and
me,
Irene.
myself, and
Yeah.
Irene, which is
Yeah.
the sex pee.
Yeah.
But then the lean over is my move when I'm hungover, where you just like put your forearm on the wall and lean forward and just let gravity almost pull your pee down.
Well, the big way you miss is when you have a boner in the morning.
Right, or like when
Yeah.
you're super hungover and you like, especially if you have like crazy hangover and you try to do the thing where you drink a shitload of water the night before you went to bed to fix it, and then you have to pee so bad.
But when I think the question too, and it deserves to be asked, when does this happen in a relationship?
I think really soon. Like
Yeah.
I've never been afraid to pee. I mean, you
Yeah.
guys know I can pee in front of anybody. Ed Sheeran, girlfriends, doesn't matter. But it's never been a question. Like, I don't know, peeing in front of somebody is pretty normal, I think.
Yeah, it's pretty quick. Yeah, first month, no problem. You're the weird one person who wrote in.
I think after they see your dick, there's no more surprises left.
Correct.
Okay. To Chicago Cat, DC PFT, Boston Hank, and Philly Max. My fiance and his brother.
Jake and Billy just get nothing.
Probably
My
New York
fiance
slander.
and his brother are planning a joint bachelor party for next spring, but have no ideas on where to go, things to do, etc. Do you have any ideas? For context, they are Philly-based,
Don't
late
do
20-somethings, and Vegas and Atlantic City are out. P.S. Go Birds.
Don't do this.
Delco.
Don't do this. Don't do this. This is a bad idea. The joint bachelor party is a bad idea. You can pretend
Why?
it's a good idea. You can pretend like, oh, this will be fun. One side is not happy about this. It could be the girl, could be the guy. I'm not saying one way or the other.
Or do you think it could be one of the guys' groups?
No. But like, yes, there will be one side that is very upset about this and like, what are we doing here? And there's one side of the bride, the husband and the bride, who are like being like, I'll go along with this, but deep down they don't really want to do it. Don't do it.
The only way this can work, the only way, is if you have about a 90% clearance rate on both sides of the groomsmen and the bridesmaids being single. If that's the case, then it could be fun because then there's hookups happening and everyone's going to be happy and horny, et cetera, et cetera. That's the only way that it works. But if that's not the case, I think it's going to be a bad idea. It's never fun. I went on... I don't want to get into it because the person's probably listening, but I went on a joint bachelorette party one time.
And it sucked.
And it's just like you're always looking over your shoulder, and there's just too many people that are involved with different agendas at the same time. It's tough.
Yeah. Again, this goes for both ways. Like, I bet you the girls want to have a girl trip where they don't have to like think about, being around dudes all the time. Like this is just, come on, don't do it. And if you were going to do it, I guess do to Vegas because then you all get split up anyway. So that would be the answer. If you're going to do the joint bachelor party, do Vegas and then just get split up so much that you don't.
I think you misheard. It's brother and brother-in-law. I think are doing my fiance and his brother.
Oh, we have to redo this whole question.
Yeah.
Okay, so now it's just.
When were you going to tell us that part?
Oh, well, I was trying to explain it, and then once you explained it, I was like, I don't think
I just heard joint bachelor party or bachelor and bachelorette party.
It's a shitload of dudes. Sounds like
shitload of Philly.
Also, don't do this.
Yeah.
This is also a bad idea. This actually might be a worse idea.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah,
it's like
one
of the groups of friends doesn't want to do it.
Yeah. No, don't do that. So, all right. So everything we said stands for the joint guy-girl bachelor party, but also that's too many Philly dudes.
Unless
they're going to all fight.
Unless they're all single, and then they'll start hooking up with each other.
Yeah,
that part's that counts.
You already have to deal with, like, if you have a bachelor party, you already have to deal with the fact that you have friends from different points in your life to then add a whole other group of friends from different points in their lives. Like, and don't do that. That's a bad idea. Just say you're going to, just wait till the Eagles play the Raiders and then all of you guys go to Vegas together. That's a way better idea.
Okay.
That was a wild question. Sorry, I just completely misheard. I heard joint and I just was like, don't do it.
So my general policy is any bachelor party that's over, I'd say maybe 9 people is going to be tough enough to handle. When you combine them, then you get all the little politics that starts to get played inside of one normal bachelor party, and you combine it with a bunch of friends that have never met each other before.
Correct.
In the first place, they're all going to end up hating each other, and that's a best case scenario.
Yeah, think about like trying to go to a club in Vegas with 25 dudes. That's what you're going to have to do if you combine bachelor parties.
Somebody's going to be like, I don't want to split this tab evenly because I didn't get any appetizers. Imagine that times
That
like
person sucks.
times like 3.
That person sucks.
All right. We'll end with another Eagles question. My boyfriend is a Panthers fan, and I'm an Eagles fan. We have an extra TV we put out on the weekends to watch football. It's sick. The issue we've been having is when both our teams are playing, we both obviously want to watch it on the bigger TV. This usually turns into a problem. We get the Panthers game on the local channel, and I have the Eagles on the ticket, so I'm able to switch to other games on commercial breaks. The Panthers are also really fucking bad, and I feel sorry for him sometimes.
That's the biggest one.
However, that doesn't justify putting a shitty game on the bigger TV.
Yeah, no.
Is this fair?
Yes, it's very fair. I don't think Panthers. You should never strive to put a Panthers game on a larger TV. If anything, you should buy a special smaller TV for Carolina Panthers games.
We do this in the office. Like the teams that are good get TVs. Like last week, I put the Bears on the fucking quad box. I had to squint to see it because the Bears-Texans was not a good game. So it's like you just have to do it by hierarchy of like, are these teams good? And yeah, we actually probably have a lot of teams that are probably going to be relegated this year to the quad box.
Yeah, mercifully. Like
Yeah.
I actually
the Bears are not quad box right now. 2-1 Bears versus 2-1 Giants.
Your boyfriend's kind of a sicko for wanting to watch the Carolina Panthers play.
Yeah. But you get in terms of like it's just basically a quality, like how good it's hard. It is hard at the beginning of the season because no one's mathematically eliminated. And you can be like, you can convince yourself, oh, they're a frisky 1-2. But as the season goes along, if the Eagles keep winning and the Panthers keep losing, the Panthers don't get the main TV. Like, use your head. Come on, just put it. You got to. They get relegated. It's very simple. It's like, well, if you're a network executive, what would you want Monday Night Football to be? The Panthers or the Eagles?
I think there's like there's like 6 teams that should never lay any sort of claim to being on the bigger TV if there's an option.
Yeah.
And I think, unfortunately, the Panthers are in that conversation.
Yes. Hank, is it going to be weird that you're going to be quad boxed this year? Because that is kind of weird.
Yeah, it's weird. I mean, they're bringing back the red jerseys, which everyone's been waiting for a long time. It's going to be fucking Brian Hoyer.
Yeah. Is Pat the Patriot going to be up there on the helmet?
Yeah.
What happened to Bailey Zappi?
Wow.
Brian
Hoyer.
Brian, I mean, you got to give Brian Hoyer another chance.
I have a crazy.
It's not Brian Hoyer. It's Axel Hoyer.
Yeah, what the fuck's up with that?
Yeah, his name's Axel. He's been going through life not calling himself Axel. Like, Axel is the name. Brian Hoyer is a better backup quarterback name, but Axel Hoyer, that dude will get in and fucking sling it.
Brian Hoyer has lost 11 straight games as a starter, dating back to 2016.
But Axel Hoyer has never lost a game.
Also, that's still not even a full season of a sample size. You got to see how that plays out.
He also had that great half season in Cleveland. You remember that?
Yeah, and then he was like ACL.
He was like the local hero, and it was like, wow, has Cleveland finally found their quarterback? He had the Mr. Hero advertisements and all that shit. This is Axel Hoyer, Hank. Just tell yourself it's Axel.
Yeah, Hank, you're going to the. It is kind of weird that the Patriots will be a quad box team.
Yeah, and fucking there's idiot sports talk journalists being like, oh, this is Belichick's last year. He's on the way out. It starts so quickly. People.
Oh, really? What idiots are saying that?
Bothering you?
Cow turd.
People are saying Belichick, the game has passed him by.
No, he just whatever. It's
don't let
irrelevant.
it bother you.
Yeah.
Don't let it bother you. Don't let him get you down.
17.
Have you ever won this?
He won last week.
Oh yeah, he hasn't ever won this. You're never going to win this, which is the best part of this.
Bet?
72.
I mean, when are you going to give me to? For
26.
eternity? I still think I probably would take you not winning this. I'll take 64.
Oh, someone did the math.
Speaking of 6, are we going to talk about this earlier in the show?
What?
Are you starting to get worried?
I don't know what we're
62.
What are you worried about?
Oh, we would have talked the home runs.
We talked about it.
Yeah, we already talked about it.
Okay.
Yes.
Breaking news, LeBron James.
45.
What number are you, Hank?
17.
LeBron James just tweeted accidentally, instead of the kid from Akron, he tweeted the mid from Akron.
That's awesome.
Fuck this.
Oh, wait, what?
90. Not even close,
Damn,
Hank.
Hank.
Not even close. Not even close to close.
Love you guys.
Crocodiles are older than alligators.